YouTube channel. Here are your hosts, John Kincade and Andrew Salciunas. 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
And good Wednesday morning, Philadelphia. I'm Andrew Salciunas alongside my man, John Kincade, on the day after Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman spoke yet again. Thank you for the content, Philadelphia Eagles, and, of course, the National Football League, because it is the league that never sleeps. Just 5 weeks ago, we were reacting to Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni's end-of-season press conference. A couple days before that, we reacted to the Eagles season coming to the end against the San Francisco 49ers. It wasn't that long ago the Super Bowl played out, and we're already on to 2026, baby.
We are getting a constant feed of news and information and let's just say tasty, juicy stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's why the league's the best. It's why the league, and I'm not just saying the best in terms of like our enjoyment. The league is the best because they never let you stop thinking about them. The NFL never stops.
Now, you got to realize is that Pete Rozelle and then Roger Goodell, this was not the way it always was.
Right.
This is the way it became.
We used to not even care about the draft. Well, you did.
You did,
when
but it
you
wasn't.
read it.
No, but it wasn't anything like this.
Right.
Well, no. We weren't in the read it era. We were in the at least you look at like my age group. We were still in the they put it on TV.
Right.
But it wasn't anything like
The
you'd
event.
imagine.
It's now an event. Like people go to it because they want
it
to
was
go
nothing
to
like
it. You
that.
remember when it was in Philadelphia? Like this place was freaking amazing.
I remember when it was in a hotel ballroom with every team sitting at a table.
Yeah, not anymore.
In like a big ballroom, and they had the big helmet phones.
Yeah, the helmet phones.
And
That's
my
awesome.
wife's dad got a Miami Dolphins helmet phone.
That's awesome.
And he had
I
one of
love
those
that.
Miami Dolphin helmet phones.
That's awesome.
So that was like the big deal. You wanted the Sports Illustrated helmet phone.
It's the league that never sleeps, and we're on to 2026. So yesterday on post-show headlines, we got into a discussion that I'd like to bring up on the air. If you don't know what post-show headlines is, it's something we do after the show every single day. It goes on YouTube. Just go to the Fanatic page, 97.5 The Fanatic, and scroll down to post-show headlines. And there will be John and I for 10 to 15 minutes after every show talking about different things, sometimes not even sports related, but then sometimes we might further a conversation that we ended the show with.
Stuff that Scott would maybe get the ruler out and smack our hands for that if we talk too much about it on the show.
Exactly.
Things like that. If the boss got mad at us about, we have some fun things that we talk about. It's good.
But sometimes we get into like serious sports stuff too.
Sure.
And yesterday on the air, I kind of like floated out what if Goddard is gone and A.J. Brown is gone? And what if Sean Mannion's not perfect year one? I'm not saying he's going to stink. I'm also not going to tell you that he's the next greatest OC in the NFL. We know nothing about Sean Mannion when it comes to play calling because he's never done it before.
Correct. And a first-year offensive coordinator can be troublesome. Ask Todd Bowles.
Yeah,
Put it to that.
It could be. And so we tried figuring out, all right, well, what if it's not that great? Like, there is a possibility. It is not a guarantee that the Eagles are going to win 13 games. When we do our W's and L's in May, Johnny can't wait
No, you're
for
going to do it. I've got vacation scheduled. I'll give you the vacation weeks.
Like, there's no guarantee that you get to 12 because there's a lot of uncertainty with the roster. So this isn't a doom and gloom day. It's something that everything that you answer is what you believe is going to happen. All right? This is not based off of fact. This is not based off of anybody's reporting. It's what you believe happens because, let's face it, people are reporting that A.J. Brown could be traded, and there's a lot of Eagles fans that go, that's not true. Those reports are false.
There are heads in the sand fans that continue to just go, oh, my gosh, why are they talking about this? It's not real.
Well, because they may not want to believe it.
I
don't want to believe it.
No, none of us want it to happen.
But I got to do my job, and I got to live my life in reality.
Yes, just stop.
And the reality is that there was a player that was very upset last year, and it was talked about during the season. Could he potentially be traded at the trade deadline? And then the season ended, and we talked about could he be traded.
You know what they did on NFL Live yesterday?
What did they do?
With Nick Sirianni. Is Jalen Carter going to be traded this offseason? No.
Oh, really?
Is Jalen Hurts going to be traded this offseason? No. That's how Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni would answer those questions.
Yeah.
Is A.J. Brown going to be traded this offseason? Well, we can't
and then
say.
It's the whole
That's
monologue.
all you need. That's all you need to know, folks. If they were asked the question about, is Cooper DeJean going to be traded this offseason? Is Quinyon Mitchell going to be traded this
Howie
offseason?
Roseman talked about Cooper DeJean playing quarterback yesterday.
Exactly. Like, I mean, all you have to do is if you put other players' names in the same question, the answer would be different.
Right.
So stop with oh my gosh, the media's just making this stuff up.
All right, so before we play some of the audio from yesterday, because during the show, it was nice.
It was.
During the show, all the quotes came out from Howie and Nick because they met with members of the Philadelphia media before leaving for Indianapolis. And it's funny, at one point during Howie's press conference yesterday, he goes, it looks like it's all the Philadelphia media again. There wasn't the same draw because they didn't win the Super Bowl last year, so it wasn't the same draw as a guy from Indianapolis, a guy from Miami, a guy from Chicago.
No tush-push controversy.
That's another big one.
That
right?
had already been resolved.
Because sour grapes.
Correct.
So before we play some of the audio, yesterday, when we talked about this potential step back, and then we kind of furthered it on post-show headlines, I'm going to once again set it up. It's what you believe happens.
Yes.
So you may believe that both A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert will be back. That could impact what you think this Eagles offense looks like. You may believe that one of the two are gone. You may believe that both are gone. And if both are gone, how does that impact the offense? Do you believe they'll find younger, better talent? Do you think they're going to take a step back? So our question, what is more likely? A step forward or a step back for the Philadelphia Eagles as a team? Not offensively, not statistically, as a team. So what we know is they lost in the first round of playoffs, right?
So the parameter is, do they advance further in the playoffs than the first round? That's going forward.
Very simple.
Okay, it's very simple.
You don't have to tell me Super Bowl. Just do they take a step forward in 2026, status quo, which is they lose in the first round of the playoffs, or step back, which could still be losing the playoffs, but they don't win the division.
Or they could get a bye and automatically be better than they were this year.
They could do that too.
They could do that.
They could be the number one seed in the NFC. So what is more likely, based off of what you believe the Eagles are doing, do you think they take a step forward or a step back? And then the follow-up question is on February 25th, 2026. What are your expectations for the Eagles? Because I'm not sitting here like I was last year saying NFC Championship, right? Like a baseline, that's where they're going to get. You guys want to step further. You set the bar at Super Bowl. I set my bar.
The defending champs with the best odds to win the Super Bowl. I think it's crazy not to.
And I was a wuss, and I set my bar at NFC Championship game. I don't know where to set the bar this year. I have so many questions about this team. I'm optimistic, but I have so many questions.
I set the bar yesterday with you on post-show headlines.
Yes,
so
you
I'll
did.
set
Tell
the bar.
people.
I'll set the bar here. My bar is set at Final Four, Connor. So I set it at Final Four. They are a team that I believe will advance further than last year. So there's the question. My answer to that is simple. They are going to advance further next year because I believe this year was a complete underachievement. But they will, Final Four to me is the standard of where they need to get to have a season that is of the level that, and then when they get there, whatever happens, happens.
Sure.
I don't know what it's going to be because Connor and I seem like we're on the same page. A lot of times we are not, but I think we're on the same page that I don't think the Eagles were going to Seattle and winning this year. Sort of no matter what happened. I don't think they were, the way I had seen the Eagles play most of the year, I don't think they were going to Seattle and winning. So to me, Final Four is the parameter, but I do believe the Eagles are going to be a better team than last year, which means advancing further.
Yeah, look, I think back to last year. Even though I picked the Eagles to beat the Niners, when they lost, I was not shocked, right? Like, I was just angry, but I wasn't shocked. The previous year, if they lost to the Packers, I would have been shocked, right, going into that playoff matchup. Two totally different teams, two totally different scenarios. So it's almost like which team is 2026? Are they more closer to 2024, or are they more closer to 2025, where you would actually have a reaction of shock if they lost or not?
But I'm the only dope that of this show group because I was the only one that was shocked that they lost to the Niners. You guys were not. I was. So you guys were not. You both said going into it you would not be shocked if they had lost that game. I said I would be shocked, and they did. And I was shocked. I absolutely was shocked that they lost that game.
All right.
So I was a dope. in that regard, and I owned it, and I ate it.
What else is new?
Because it was terrible. Please. I saw your picks all year. Let's not be too chesty, boy.
Don't talk to him.
Be too chesty.
He's the one that came
Why is Connor taking a straight quiet all morning?
I know I made money. I finished above the VIG. That's all.
You did. You made a little money.
You can call me dope all you want. I made money.
There you go.
All right. Before we play some audio, some immediate responses on YouTube. I appreciate our YouTube audience joining us as early as you do. Thank you very much. Jay King says, lower your expectations.
No.
D Flyers and Renee both believe, no shock with Renee, both believe a step forward. And
Good job, Renee
says with A.J. Brown, they take the step forward.
I told you yesterday, though, on post show. I am convinced, and I went against the local media. I went against Adam Schefter weeks ago. By the way, they all seem to be moving towards my opinion now, if you notice.
The win from the blizzard keeps shifting everything back and forth.
I was on an island a few weeks ago and standing alone that I was convinced A.J. Brown's being traded. And now it seems like Adam Schefter and a lot of the media members are now moving towards me saying, yeah, I think so too. I think he's being traded.
Well, Schefter joins at 8:05 today. So it'll be the weekly update.
I think it's a master class that Howie Roseman's trying to teach in not doing a Dave Dombrowski.
Yeah.
He's going to build up his value. There's too many players that are at the table trying to get his services, and I think they will do.
Well, you just wait till 6:30 when we play you audio from Nick Sirianni. That sounds completely different from what we read quote-wise less than a week ago. You just wait. That comes your way at 6:30. You can text in 610-632-0975. What is more likely for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2026? They take a step forward, which means, to John's point, they get a bye, or they just win a playoff game.
By the way, I'm not expecting the bye.
Right, but that means they get to the divisional round of the playoffs.
I'm not expecting the bye because I do think that it could be a bumpy ride early.
Sure. Or do they take a step back? And what are your expectations as of today? Because we don't know the roster. A.J. and Dallas Goedert could be gone. A.J. Brown is still a Philadelphia Eagle. Dallas Goedert is not because he's a free agent.
And I think Dallas is going to be gone too.
Who knows what other trades happen? Who knows? Things expectations change. Sean Mannion, 4 weeks into the season, could look like the greatest offensive coordinator ever. We're going to say, wow, I got to update everything that I believed in February, in June, in August, and right before kickoff when we officially get on the record. So what do you think? 610-632-0975. So yesterday, Howie Roseman spoke to the media. This one at a podium because last week they got all together at the Jefferson Health Training Facility.
Yeah, we got to get used to that, don't we? I like the Jeff. I like that idea.
Yeah. I think people have to get used to it because I think if we just say it, there will probably be people that still don't know what the hell we're talking about.
It's always NovaCare to me, baby.
Yeah, I kind of want to say that too. It's like the concert hall. Like I'm a BBT Pavilion. I don't know what the hell it is nowadays.
Freedom Mortgage Pavilion.
Freedom Mortgage. All right. Shout out to you, Freedom Mortgage. Here's Howie Roseman once more talking about anybody, not specifically A.J. Brown. But when a phone rings, this is his response.
You always try to make decisions in calm times. We do the same thing in the draft. We have a value for, every player on the roster so that we don't get sideswiped on anything, that we understand what we would do. That doesn't mean we would trade them, but at the same time, we got to be open to listen on everything that we do here. That's what a lot of this week's about. That's what a lot of the first couple weeks of free agency is about. That doesn't mean there'll necessarily be action, but you got to be willing to listen. We'll do that during the draft as well and decide what's the best for the Philadelphia Eagles. At the end of the day, everything we do is what's best for the Philadelphia Eagles so that we can try to compete and hopefully win another championship.
So we read the quote yesterday, very similar to that, which is different than what we heard 5 weeks ago. I understand the question wasn't specifically about A.J. Brown, but we all know what the question was all about.
That is correct.
Not many people are talking about, are you thinking about trading?
No, exactly. Well, they did it.
Name a player.
They did it yesterday just to show how stupid it was because you got people going, these A.J. Brown stories, it's media creation. And they went down. How would Howie Roseman answer that question about Jalen Carter, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith?
And the media doesn't care respectfully about like a Grant Calcaterra.
That is correct.
That's not
so
not who they're getting
So
at.
it is nonsense. And there are enough. A.J. Brown is on the trade block. He's there. People are talking about it. Opposing teams are putting together trade packages.
Oh, absolutely. There's going to be a lot of buzz this week, whether you like it or not. There's going to be buzz this week. Now, Howie was also asked about Dallas Goedert, who we talked a lot about yesterday.
We did.
Shout out to Bill Barnwell, who put out the tiers of free agencies at the tight end position.
Not T-E-A-R-S.
No, T-I-E-R-S.
Because you're going to be borderline devastated if these things come true.
Dallas Goedert basically is the best tight end on the market. Kyle Pitts will be getting his franchise tag with the Falcons. Not that I would even consider him the best, but age is a factor. Travis Kelce, nobody's expecting him to go anywhere. He's going to stay with Kansas City. The only other name comparable to Dallas Goedert, according to Bill Barnwell, was Cade Otton. I would take Goddard over Otton. And Njoku was a tier below. I like David Njoku a lot, but maybe that's just me. Here was how.
What do you like so much about him?
I think he's a very talented player.
I like him.
And I think if he hasn't been on the Browns for the last how many years of his career, it might be a little bit different for him.
Okay.
I mean, he's catching touchdown passes from you.
Well,
Here was Howie Roseman.
I'm catching strays now, Connor.
Here was Howie
Seriously.
Roseman on Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, tremendous player in person for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm really glad we were able to figure it out and bring him back to Philadelphia this year and for this season, and tremendously productive for us. Just a huge asset for our offense to have him on our football team. Again, we got to put the whole puzzle together, and so to sit here, we got a lot of other free agents too, and say, hey, we're definitely going to get this guy back. You know, when we get this late, obviously the market dictates a lot of that as well, but certainly sit down with his agent here over the next couple of days and have a conversation. Very appreciative of Dallas Goedert.
Very vague.
That sounds good as gone.
Well,
that's good as gone.
I will say it sounded very similar to the stuff he said last year. Last year, we thought Dallas Goedert was not coming back.
Well, here's the deal. Now, here's what we can hope for is it's like last year. Dallas Goedert found there was no market for him.
Right.
That's all we can hope for is that, but Howie Roseman is not going to set the market on Dallas Goedert. That is what we learned yesterday. He is not going to be the one that sets the market on Dallas Goedert. And so the Eagles are not going to be the ones to say, Dallas, we love you. We're going to be the ones to pay you. That's what we learned is that they're not going to line up to say, Dallas, we love you. We're going to pay you. And look, I don't think they should. I don't think they should be the ones to do that, and it looks like they're definitely not going.
Yeah, you'll let him see what's out there.
Like they did last year, and they found out last year he had no market. Now, last year he had a great year.
Yeah, he had a great season.
But he's also older.
Sure.
And someone's going to say, well, last year he didn't slip on the banana peel of health. Every other year he does. So what do you believe?
For him personally, if he can make a lot of money, go for it. For me personally, if the market's not there, come on back.
I would love – no. I think
come on back,
gosh,
man.
I think every Eagles fan would well, first off, every Eagles fan's going to root for Dallas Goedert, right?
Yeah,
we're all going to root for him to have success.
I mean,
and it's but I don't believe the Eagles are going to in any way try to not. They're going to if he doesn't find a market, there's a chance he comes back. Other than that, I would say there's no chance.
Well, that was Howie saying all the right things, right? Being the vague GM speak. But yesterday, before the press conference, we had Zach Berman on, and Zach was one of the members of the media that was able to speak with both Howie and Nick last week before they all went to Indianapolis for the Combine. This was Zach Berman's read on the future of Dallas Goedert.
I'm not expecting him back unless it's on a deal that's kind of more conducive to the Eagles. And if you just look at this logically, last year he had to take a pay cut to stay at age 30. I don't see them paying him more at age 31 in that regard. Now, he had a good season. He stayed healthier than he typically is, but I think he earned more money. So he went down from, $14 million, what he was supposed to make last year, to $10 million. So let's say he's a $13 million a year player on a multi-year contract this offseason. Is that an area that the Eagles are going to go for a 31-year-old tight end? I also think that Howie, and he said this, is kind of evolving in the way he looks at tight ends too, and I think that tight end room is going to look different.
It's going to look different. Now,
it'll look different.
It should also look different. Like Grant Calcaterra, you saw, it's done. Right?
It's done.
Like we don't have to.
That should be done.
We don't have to.
I mean, it's going to be a completely different.
He's a turnstile blocking, So it's going to look different either way, but it could look extremely different if Dallas Goedert's back. So look. Our question is, what is more likely, step forward or step back? And on February 25th, what your expectations are for the Eagles, what your bar is set at for the Eagles. But it's all based off of what you believe is going to happen. For those of you who get angry that we talk about A.J. Brown potentially being traded, not even saying they got to trade him, just potentially being traded. Well, if you don't think he's going to get traded, then that's what adds to your belief on the Eagles, whether to take a step forward or a step back. If you are somebody that believes he gets traded and Dallas Goedert doesn't come back, and maybe you're not a big Sean Mannion guy, maybe you're one of those fans where everything's going to go wrong. You think they take a step back.
Okay, I could understand if you say, I'm a wait-and-see Sean Mannion guy. I can't understand anyone not being a big Sean Mannion guy. Like, I mean, it's got to be – there's no reason not to be a Sean Mannion guy, and there's no reason to be a I think Sean Mannion's a can't miss. You know what I mean?
No, it's just wait.
We don't know. Wait and see. Yeah, I mean, we don't know
I
yet.
will respect what the league talks
Correct.
are about him, and
Yes.
that he's a future head coach. All right,
Let's hope.
coming up next. Well, we mentioned it. Nick Sirianni also spoke yesterday, and I wonder if some of his answers changed from like literally a week, not even. You'll hear from Nick Sirianni. Also, it was good to see the big man back on the court, at least for a game. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Howie talks trade value. I'm Connor Thomas, and Combine Week is hit in full swing as Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni met with the media from Indianapolis yesterday. There were plenty of questions about how the offseason has gone so far and where it's still heading. And Howie Roseman talked about the Eagles' willingness to listen to trade offers on, well, pretty much anyone.
We have a value for every player on the roster. That doesn't mean we would trade them, but at the same time, we got to be open to listen. That doesn't mean there'll necessarily be action, but you got to be willing to listen. We'll do that during the draft as well and decide what's the best for the Philadelphia Eagles.
The actual Combine drills begin tomorrow, so we'll keep you updated as continued news comes out of the Combine, and still plenty of news points as all the teams are together. The Sixers got a huge boost from the return of Joel Embiid last night, who made an unexpected return to the lineup. He and Tyrese Maxey combined for 59. The team's 135-114 win over the Pacers. Sixers host the Heat tomorrow. Flyers have their first game back from the break tonight. The 7 p.m. puck drop down in Washington versus the Caps. You can hear that game live here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Phillies lost to the Marlins 6-1. They will play Detroit today at 1:05 as their spring training schedule continues. Adam Schefter joins us at 8:05. Rob Motti joins us at 9:05, both talking Combine. This update is brought to you by Mattress Firm. Time's running out. Mattress Firm's President's Day sale ends soon. Let their sleep experts help find the perfect bed for you. They make sleep easy. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
This hour of Kincade Salciunas is presented by Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White, they're here for the pro.
It is 6:29 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Sixers in action yesterday. Flyers back tonight from the All-Star break, or excuse me, the Olympic break.
Brick Tockett's done with all his traveling.
Yes.
He's doing a lot of traveling.
The Sixers played the Pacers last night in Indiana. They won 135-114. A big win for
Boy,
the
they're
Sixers.
bad, man. The Pacers.
Oh yeah, well the Pacers are
after
actively,
just going to the finals.
Pacers are actively tanking, and that's why they're getting fined money. Like they literally made a trade for Ivica Zubac, and they were just like, yeah, no, he's not going to play though. They're sitting everybody.
After going to the finals though, it's you. I've never seen
the second
this.
Tyrese Halliburton got hurt, and the second.
Right.
Oh God, what's his name? Went to Milwaukee.
Whoa. Come on now. Jesus. Go on.
This is bad. Anyways, the second he left, they were kind of surprised that he left. They caught him off guard. Now Miles Turner. The second Miles Turner goes to Indiana, and they lose their best player because of injury, and one of their other, Pascal Siakam, and then it's Miles Turner. Pacers are like, yeah, screw that. We're just going to tank for a season, and we'll be probably back next year, or at least contending next year. But the Sixers win yesterday, and what do you know? Joel Embiid's on the court, and the team looks better. It's why I don't want to.
Well, you better
trade
look
it.
good against that team.
Yeah, but
let's be honest.
The team itself, everybody looked better. Maxey looked better. VJ Edgecombe looked better.
That's a G League team.
Everybody looked better for the Sixers, just the way you watch it. It's not just the results. So they're spacing everything, and it's the shame of it because you know that when he is on the court, it's a totally different product. And then the news might drop today that he's not going to play for the next 3 games. And that's the bummer of it. That's why I've said for years now, I totally understand the Embiid fatigue. I don't think I have to say it at this point. It's almost like when we used to couch things with like Brett Brown. He's a really nice guy, but I don't think I have to do the Joel Embiid thing anymore. We all know it. If he plays, the team looks better. If he doesn't, the team will suck. And that's the problem.
I was impressed. But that team's so bad.
Yeah.
That team is just terrible.
Back-to-back wins.
I'd say it's the Marlins to me. I was trying to figure out last night. The Marlins, when they won in 97, you're too young. When they won the World Championship in 97, and the next year they lost 100 games.
Yeah.
That is about what I'm seeing this year. That's about how bad this is.
A lot of those guys left.
Oh, yeah. Well, they did 1 year. They went and bought players and did 1 year and then let it go.
Just happy the Sixers got to win. 135 points in back-to-back games.
That was
I wonder
nice.
how often that happens, where you score the exact same amount of points in basketball in back-to-back games.
Probably rare.
I don't know.
would
I
imagine.
just saw it, that they scored 135 against Minnesota on Sunday. All right, anyways, before we get to our text messages on what is more likely, step forward or step back for the Eagles based off of what you believe the Eagles are doing this offseason. Nothing's based off of fact because the new league year hasn't started yet. I choose to listen to reports, and we'll speak to Adam Schefter coming up at 8:05 and get the latest on A.J. Brown. And it wasn't great hearing that Dallas Goedert will probably look for a payday, and he probably won't get it here. The question is whether or not he gets it elsewhere. But Nick Sirianni, man, has a lot changed from a week. I don't know exactly when the members of the media spoke to them.
No, it's a week. Yeah, it was.
I don't know exactly what day, but it was last week. We know that
it was the end of last week.
So probably Friday. So it probably hasn't even been 7 days.
Correct.
So if you remember, we started reading the quotes yesterday, live on the air, because they were all dropping yesterday. And it was great for the show because we had plenty to talk about. And Zach Berman put out, the quote from Nick Sirianni about the Shanahan-McVay tree. I wouldn't say I went in and said I have to have this system, but as I went through it, then it became obvious to me that I wanted to have this system. The more I learned about it, the more I thought about it, the more I talked to different guys about it, that's where I kind of got to go. So when you read that or hear that, you go, all right, he's going all in on this new system. Here he was yesterday at the podium.
There's a lot of steps to take place before we know exactly what version of this offense is going to be. But obviously, Sean comes from a family of coaches and things that he's done that we really respect, that we know is tough to defend. We know we've done a lot of good things here as well, as far as some of the things we've done that's hard to defend. So being able to sprinkle some of that in, you got to go through the process with your players to get to all those answers. Again, and you're constantly going to try to get to it, get to where you will be by the end of the season. But really, it's always important at the end of the day that we're able to run the football, be able to do play action off of that, play physical, play with relentless effort, play with great detail, play together. Those will be all things that we're looking to do.
The other thing he mentioned at one point yesterday was now that Parks Frazier got the promotion to pass game coordinator, he was here last year, and he can mesh some of the old with the new. That's a lot different from I needed this system to I want to mesh some of the things that we've done well with over the years. And I'm fine with it. We talked about it yesterday.
Sure.
I didn't want a complete overhaul of the offense because you have the talent, the same roster as of right now, that won the Super Bowl just 2 years ago with the old. But it's a lot different, just sort of the way he spoke about this new look offense.
It was definitely, let's just say a little change.
Yeah,
little change.
I don't know.
And the thing
maybe
is,
they were having cocktails on
but
Friday.
You know what, though?
I don't know.
But you know what though? I'm fine with that. I change points of view. You know, we change points of view. The one thing that's clear is that
3 days.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. That's a lot of changing opinions and shifting winds.
Well,
that are going on.
Nick Sirianni, if you remember, we also talked about the A.J. Brown stuff yesterday. Comes out that he does the whole, this is yesterday. I love A.J. A.J.'s a great player. But then he started saying stuff like, I can't guarantee that he's going to be back. He made it seem like, there's a chance he could be traded because you know the way Nick Sirianni speaks. Nick Sirianni, sometimes I think it's to his detriment, will always talk you up, right? Like,
no question he will.
At points, he made Kevin Patullo seem like the greatest offensive coordinator in the NFL last year. And he wasn't.
To Nick Sirianni's own detriment, he will build people up.
He absolutely will. And so usually we're used to the building people up. Even after Sirianni and A.J. Brown had that back and forth on the sideline in the playoff game, after they lost and he was asked about it at the podium that Sunday, his answer was, I love A.J. It was just a slight disagreement or something.
He always takes the bullet for his player.
Right. Oh, and I commend him for that.
You should admire that.
I absolutely
that is something that is extremely admirable, and players, by the way, love it.
Absolutely.
They love it.
So last week it was, I can't guarantee anything. This was him yesterday with Mike Garafolo.
I think when you look at the rest of the comments, like, I can't guarantee I'm going to be here tomorrow or be here in this building. So at the end of the day, all seriousness, at the end of the day, I love A.J. Brown. I love the player. I love the person. I love the teammate. And when you get asked a question where it's yes or no, it's like, hey, listen, I can't guarantee anything, but at the end of the day, I love the man, and I love the relationship that we have, all the things that he's done, all the ups and downs that we've had throughout. Man, good player, good teammate, great person.
At the end of the day, stop it. Stop it. The end of the day. It's four times.
So
but
much.
it's become the new crutch. It is. It's a wasted thing. At the beginning of the day, the middle of the day. Come on now, Nick. This is because he's
say it 600 times. I don't care.
It's because he's putzing for words. It's because he can't. He's not giving us. That's the key of what he's doing. He's not being on there. He's putzing for words. He's trying to go around like, I'm not going to say what I really want to say here, so I'm going to give you at the end of the day. He's trying to figure out what he's going to say.
Bothers you.
Come on, yes, because it's just say at some point you got to be prepared for these things. They're going to the combine.
Johnny, not everybody's a paid sports talk radio host.
No, coach them up to what. This is what they do. This is what these teams do, Andrew. They have a PR team for a reason.
I hear at the end of the day said every day.
And a coach is coached up before these things saying, you're going to go to the combine. You're going to ask 1 million times about these issues. So let's go and let's sit in a room and let's do this over and over again. And they coach these guys up for this so they don't have to do at the end of the day, so they have answers for it. So it doesn't come up saying like, I sound like I'm doing I don't have an answer for you. That's what the PR team does for a living.
I hear every member of the Phillies say right at the end of their sentence.
It's not the coach going to the combine. I'm not talking about a player talking about, can you hit a curveball? I'm talking about these coaches. No, there's one question. There's one big story they're going to be asked about over and over again. The PR department is to prepare them for it. That's their job. That's what they do. Preparing them to go to these things. make sure he has an answer because he wasn't prepared.
Well, at the end of the day, I don't
Yeah,
care.
at the end of the day.
All right, what do we got on the text line, Connor? Based off of your beliefs of what the Eagles do you believe the team as a whole takes a step forward or a step back in 2026?
All right, so we have a check-in here. We'll start with Jamal in Belleville, New Jersey, who says, I think the Birds take a slight step back, but remain one of the top-tier teams in the NFC. My question is Mr. Lurie willing to take on that cap hit by trading A.J. Brown?
Well, a slight step back would mean
you don't win the
they
division.
don't win the division. That's the only step back they could take.
Yeah. Or they don't make the playoffs altogether, which...
I mean, that's not a slight step back. If they don't make the playoffs, that's a huge step back.
Change is coming.
Nick Sirianni's fired.
Yeah.
If the Eagles take any kind of step back, Nick Sirianni's fired. And I've already said that with 100% certainty, accuracy, no sitting on the fence. Nick Sirianni's fired if they take any step back. Anything. So this is a referendum.
You don't make the playoffs, there's a lot of change.
No,
I don't even think it would just be Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, he's gone. I mean, who else would it be?
Well, I think Vic Fangio
probably retires. Right. Well, Vic Fangio may retire anyway.
Yeah, God knows if Mannion's gone, depending on how you miss the playoffs.
What if he sucks?
They're not
going
to.
Really
no. If Nick's, it is very rare that you would have a new offensive coordinator come in here, and that they would fire the head coach, and then he would get to stay,
unless the new head coach comes in and wants his own staff. I mean, that.
No, but I'm saying that Mannion would get to stay. Mannion would go too. So he'd be gone too. So he'd be out of here.
All right, what else we got?
All right, we also have a check-in from Joe the Cynic who says...
First texter was step back.
Yeah.
How about that?
Next texter is step up.
Okay.
Joe the Cynic thinks they'll improve and advance even if some personnel is gone as Mannion gets his feet wet. They'll win the division, and they'll be better in the playoffs.
If they had a competent offensive coordinator, I will stand by what I've said numerous times. No guarantee that they win a playoff game, but I think they're the 2 seed. I don't think we're talking about should they or shouldn't they rest starters week 18.
One win would have made them the 2 seed.
Yeah.
So with a competent offensive coordinator, they're the 2 seed. Hopefully they win the first playoff game at home against the Packers.
Right.
And then we would have seen what happened.
Competent. That's all they needed.
That's all you would have needed.
Was a competent. I'm not saying great. Competent. They didn't even have that. Speaking of competent, would you keep an employee who was the worst at their job in an entire company? Connor?
What's his record?
It's Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Let's talk about that FanDuel Sportsbook app. You want to go to the NBA Finals? Maybe it will be in our backyard. Who knows? After 2 straight wins for your team, your town, your Philadelphia 76ers, things are looking up. And if not, well, go to your FanDuel Sportsbook app in partnership with Valley Forge. FanDuel is giving you a profit boost that you can use to predict the future. You heard me right. All you got to do, use your profit boost on an NBA future bet. You can bet the team you think will win the NBA Finals. You can bet the team that you think will come out of the Eastern or Western conferences. You can bet futures in terms of who will win divisions, because there are divisions in the NBA. Not that anybody really tracks them all that much. And, of course, MVP voting. And when you do that with your profit boost, you will get locked in for a chance to win a trip for 2 to the NBA Finals, regardless of where that destination is. Just visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. You got to be 21 plus and present in Pennsylvania. No purchase is necessary. Limit 1 entry for Profit Boost token. Opt-in required. Must apply Profit Boost token on select market. Restrictions apply. See full terms, including methods of entry at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. It is 6:47 here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5, The Fanatic. Get back to our text line here in a moment. But yesterday, again, Howie Roseman spoke to members of the media as well as Nick Sirianni, so we'll be reacting to a lot of it today. And one of the things that came up was the future of Jake Elliott with the Philadelphia Eagles. Jake Elliott last year, the worst field goal kicker, place kicker in the NFL from start to finish. Obviously, some kickers were released during the season.
And he's the worst since the beginning of 2024.
He was really bad last year, 2 seasons ago as well. I mean, he's
terrible. He's terrible.
74% field goal percentage last year, which is worse than the previous year when it was 77%. I mean,
he's got to go.
It's really bad. Like, that's bad. That's bad because we're talking about 3 points. We're talking about games that did swing. All the Kevin Patullo talk aside for a second, there were games that Jake Elliott legitimately lost you, right? If Jake Elliott did his one job, which is putting the ball through the uprights and not being asked like from 68 yards, right? We're not talking about Cam Little here with the Jags. We're talking 40-yard kicks.
What if he didn't miss an extra point in the playoff game?
Right, who knows?
Then you're trying to get a field goal at the end.
That's it.
To get it go to overtime. You're trying to get a field goal.
He was 4 of 8 from 50-plus last year. So 50-plus. Maybe he missed a 60-yarder. I don't know. But he was 7 of 10 from 40 to 49 yards. That can't happen. In today's NFL, that has become automatic. He's 30 years old. He's been in the league for a long time. He's fallen apart.
And it's great. Look, you can love Jake and you can thank Jake for everything that he did. He is terrible right now at his job. He's got to go. Got to go.
Howie Roseman was asked about him, and here was his answer.
Jake has been a tremendous kicker for us since we got him off the practice squad in Cincinnati in 2017. Tremendously clutch. I have a lot of confidence in him as a player, as a kicker, as a person, a captain on our team, and continue to believe in him as our place kicker.
Continue to believe in him as our place kicker. So what does that mean? You mean he's back?
No. They're going to draft a kicker. There'll be a kicker drafted on the third day. Kicker gets drafted on the third day.
I hope so.
Yeah, they'll draft a kicker.
I mean, Jake Elliott's falling apart.
He's terrible.
And they do
And it's 2 years of data. It's not 1 year of data. It's 2 years.
They have an out in his contract right now. All right? Like, it was after, in 2026, they have an out in his contract. Dead cap hit would be $6.5 million.
Got to go bye-bye. And he's a great Eagle. He's a legendary Eagle. We will love him forever.
If he plays one more year, his dead cap hit goes down below $4 million.
Can't do anything about it. You cannot lose games because of your kicker.
I agree with you.
He's making routine things difficult. Can't have it. Can't do it.
What do we got on the text line this morning, Connor?
Nothing about the place kicker, but we do have a bunch of stuff on the comments made earlier about where the Eagles are taking a step forward or a step back. John in Tennessee says the Birds will have a worse regular season record as they will have to get their legs underneath themselves, but will advance to the divisional round, possibly even the conference championship, strictly depending on opponent.
All right, so worst record.
10-7? I don't think 10-7 wins the division.
It all comes down to what the Cowboys do defensively this offseason.
Dallas won 9 games last year.
7.
So they won 7 last year.
Yeah.
7?
Yeah, they were good.
7,
oh,
9,
wow, that was 7. Okay, there were no winning teams. Yeah, I don't know if 10 wins the division. No, in fact, I'm going to tell you 10 doesn't win the division this year.
Just because you don't know. Look,
you're going to have to win. You're
Dallas
could
have a bad offseason, but we all know they have one thing they have to do.
And their defense is going to be improved.
It got better. Remember, even after the trade deadline, it got a little bit better. And remember, all of a sudden, the talking point was that Dallas was going to win the division. That ended very quickly.
I think 11's going to be your divisional floor, and I think the Eagles will get to 11.
All right. What else we got on the text line? 610-632-0975. Based off of what you believe happens.
Right.
Because I already see, they're not trading AJ. Okay, so that's what you believe. That's what you believe.
I got to say, what is somebody basing that on? What are you basing that on? You don't want it to happen?
Yes. Yeah, fandom.
Okay, no, you can say I don't want it to happen, but they aren't trading AJ is not based on. That's not based on any kind of reality. They might not. You could say they might not trade AJ,
and I hope that they don't.
In capital letters, they might not. They are absolutely entertaining trading AJ. That's why the coach says it. That's why the GM says it. Because they would tell you about any one of a number of other players
they'd laugh
that
at
they're
you.
not trading them.
Yeah, there's some players they'd probably just straight up laugh at you.
if you're buying into any of the social media accounts or otherwise telling you this is all media created, you are being fed a load of crap.
So, what is more likely, based off of what you believe? The Eagles take a step forward or a step back. What you believe they do with the roster, because it's not just A.J. Brown. All right, it's Dallas Goedert. It's
correct.
It's Nakobe Dean. It's Reed Blankenship. It's Jalen Phillips. Could they trade certain players? There's a lot of questions with this Eagles roster right now, as there are a lot of teams, because it's the silly season. But what do we got on the text line?
Joe from Media checks in, says, considering we won 11 games and won the NFC East, I believe next season will be pretty much status quo from a record standpoint. I do think there might be a playoff win in the forecast, and I do believe from an optics perspective, things will look a lot better.
Yeah, optically, I completely agree. It
can't look worse, right?
Right, it has to. Like that doesn't even mean that Sean Mannion's like some successful OC. He can't be as bad as Petula. And I would imagine the offensive line, maybe we luck out this year with a little bit of extra health. I don't know. It was a disaster. I can't imagine.
Last year was a disaster.
I was miserable watching the Philadelphia Eagles. 2 years ago, I was bored, but for the best reasons I was bored. They were just so efficient at what they did. Other than the Saquon Barkley highlight reel runs, it was a pretty boring season when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Boring was good. Last year was just everything sucked. I don't have a positive takeaway from the Eagles' offense last year. Can you come up with one positive takeaway?
There was not.
Other than Dallas Goedert, somebody finally figured out a way to use him in the red zone.
It was definitely not what you're saying is not unfair. It was not a fun season to watch Eagles football.
No.
It wasn't. It was not it wasn't fun. It was really a bad.
Here we go again.
Sunday. A bad year. It was a bad year. The games were just not. It was not an
How many
entertaining
times in
brand.
your pregame show, you and Ray, did you talk about, like, is this the week the offense is going to figure it out?
How many games did I play?
18 games.
Felt like it was every week. I mean, the first month was kind of like the wait-and-see territory, but after that 4-0 start, every single week was like, okay, boys, now here's where we get it going.
And again,
they never did.
Some of us were dopes. And if you're watching on YouTube, one of us is raising their hand. I continually thought, this has got to get better. It's just got to get better. And it never did. So I'm the fool. I fell for it.
You believe it'll get better next year?
I fell for it. Yes.
And that's
I
good.
did. And I do believe there's going to be a lot of wholesale changes.
Yeah, it could be a totally different looking Eagles team.
And I do believe that AJ and Dallas will both go.
That's a bummer.
I know. Well, the Dallas thing's a bummer. And the AJ thing, if AJ was going to show up and be a good citizen and work hard and play hard, then I'd be all in. But I can't count on that because he already showed me I can't count on that. So I'm fine. I'm fine. Give me a number one pick. Give me somebody who's going to work hard.
Coming up next, we will continue talking Eagles based off of the comments from Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni yesterday. But also, we will talk something Eagles related that involves a lot of you. And many of you will be bothered by it. Not all. Not all, because not all of you do this. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Sirianni speaks on Sean Mannion. I'm Connor Thomas, and Combine Week is hit in full swing as Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni met with the media live from Indianapolis yesterday. There were plenty of questions about where the offseason's going and how the offseason's gone so far. A lot of hiring, including a new offensive coordinator. So Nick Sirianni, of course, was asked about the new direction the Eagles offense could take in 2026. He spoke about the balance that needs to be struck between Sean Mannion's new offensive principles and the ones that have worked here in Philadelphia.
Obviously, Sean comes from a family of coaches and things that he's done that we really respect, that we know is tough to defend. We know we've done a lot of good things here as well, as far as some of the things we've done that's hard to defend. So being able to sprinkle some of that in, those will be all things that we're looking to do.
The actual Combine drills begin tomorrow, so we'll keep you updated on that. We'll also have some great check-ins from the Combine. Adam Schefter joins us at 8:05. Rob Motti joins us from the Combine at 9:05. The Sixers got a huge boost last night from the return of Joel Embiid. He and Tyrese Maxey combined for 59 in the team's 135-114 win over the Pacers. Now 2 in a row for the Sixers. They host the Heat tomorrow. Flyers have their first game back from the Olympic break tonight. 7 p.m. puck drop down in Washington, taking on the Capitals. You can hear the game live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. The Phillies lost to the Marlins 6-1 in spring training play yesterday. They'll take on the Detroit Tigers at 1:05 down in Florida. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Fanatic in the Fanatic app.
It is 7 a.m. here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. I had a personal sad experience last night.
What was that? You're back at your house?
Or a bittersweet experience, I will say. Last night, as Coop was being put to bed, he goes, "Daddy, can the dog sleep with me tonight?"
Okay.
How am I going to say no to that? Because the dog sleeps in bed with me.
You didn't say no, I hope.
No, I didn't.
Good.
But I like snuggling my dog. I snuggle my dog more than my wife. And I was sad yesterday. But it's like such a beautiful, like he wanted the dog.
He's a child.
And
yeah.
so the two of them slept together last
That's fantastic.
night.
That's nice.
It's beautiful.
And
but-
that may be the new thing.
Oh, yeah, no, moving forward, yeah. I was just on the phone with Christy. I was like, Coop, did you like sleeping with the dog last night? Yeah. She kept me warm, he said.
Good. Real quick. It's a true story. Night my dad died. I was staying outside our house. My dog always slept on my bed. And so the night my mom had went to bed, she had come back from the hospital. I was staying outside the house with cousins, and the dog was laying on my bed where I normally sleep. She went to bed. She got the call from Bryn Mawr Hospital, come over, your husband's in distress.
Yeah.
She gets dressed. She goes in the bathroom, gets cleaned up, walks back into her bedroom. My dog was up on her bed.
How about that?
My dog never slept on my bed again.
Dogs know,
The
man.
night my dad died.
These dogs know.
Dogs know. Dogs
Why,
know.
they're beautiful creatures.
They know who needs them.
Damn right.
They know who needs them.
Damn right, man.
And that dog was never my dog again.
Oh, really?
Became my mom's dog.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
They
no.
were
Totally
thick as
betrayed me.
thieves after that.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
betrayed me.
You were an afterthought.
Absolutely.
All right. Here's what we've talked about so far this morning. We're going to get into a conversation that's going to bother some of you. Not all of you, some of you, but there will be people that will side with the people that will be bothered because they're going to say it's their money. They can do whatever they want with it.
Uh-huh.
What is more likely is our topic today. Step forward for the Eagles or step back. Now, we're letting you be the judge of what the Eagles do this offseason because right now the new league year hasn't started yet. There is tampering currently going on, I imagine. Amy Trask joined us yesterday. She goes, believe it or not, there is tampering that is done at the combine and not the legal kind because that's
illegal tampering.
So there's been a lot of talk about A.J. Brown, a lot of talk about Dallas Goedert, a lot of talk about other players hitting the free agent market like Reed Blankenship and Nakobe Dean. So you're the judge of who's coming back. And obviously you can't have everybody back, but I know there's people that live in make-believe land and believe that everyone's going to come back. So what is more likely? The Eagles take a step forward based off of what you believe the roster is like, or they take a step back based off of what the roster is like. I'm with you. I think they take a step forward, but I'm not ready to say Super Bowl.
No. I need to see. No, I can be convinced to say Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, it's February 25th.
I could be convinced by whatever moves they make, and I'm actually expecting Howie to make some move that's going to make us go, wow. And I'm expecting somebody to exit that makes us go, wow.
Sure.
You know, the good,
Or
the bad.
also week 2, I can see this is a whole new offense.
Sure.
Or in week 2, I can say, it looks a lot like last year because Nick likes it that way.
Oh, I don't think it's ever going to be that because I think this came from above. I think the call came from inside the house. Change this effing offense. Change it now.
Yeah.
We're not doing this again.
I sure
We're
hope
not doing
so.
it again.
That's what he said he's got to do. Remember,
Yes.
those are his words.
Got to do it.
And then, of course, what are your expectations? If you're setting a bar now, and
Sure.
I saw some on our YouTube chat saying you have to lower the expectations.
No.
Because there are people that believe there will be wholesale changes with the Eagles and just how much those wholesale changes could impact. You have been saying consistently that even if A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert were gone, you don't think that they're going to fall apart because
I
the
don't.
offense was already
I
struggling.
don't. No, I absolutely do not. I do not. Seeing young tight ends incorporated into offenses across the league for years has not been a problem. So I don't believe the Eagles would have a problem with that. I'm more worried about a offense, a rookie being able to come in and give them 1,000 yards, be a 1,000-yard type wide receiver. I'm more worried about that. But no, I'm not worried. And there are a lot of physical specimen wide receivers in this draft. Guys who are built like A.J. Brown, tough like A.J. Brown. Many who have had better college careers, as I've started to research, that were better college career players than A.J. Brown. So I'm very interested to see if they could grab one of those guys.
Sure. That does nothing for me, what they did in college versus what A.J. Brown did in college. Like, I know what A.J. Brown's done in the NFL.
I do, yeah, and
You
I
know
do.
what I mean? Like,
No, I'm saying is those that if I'm getting a guy who's 8 years younger, 5 years cheap or 4 years cheap, depending on where you draft him, and I'm getting a guy who is has not lost a step, can create the separation, and is a physical freak. There's a lot of good physical wide receivers in this draft.
that's why I said yesterday again, and we had our man Stan in Drexel Hill on, who said even thinking about trading A.J. Brown is stupid. And then I was like, listen, I don't want him traded, but everybody's got a price. Like, if a team offered me a first and a third, like I think I would be dumb to say no to that. A first and a second day pick.
And Dan Orlovsky's really a busy guy, but and Dan has pointed it out multiple times, there were not players in the NFL that he was doing segments on last year about quitting on plays, quitting on routes. He was not doing segments on multiple teams, multiple players where let's look at this player and their poor performance on the field as far as effort. He was not doing that because there weren't players to be pointing that out about. AJ had a really bad year. And that does it for me. That really does it for me. If they can get something really good for him, I say do it and thank him for his service for what he did that was great.
But his really bad year was 1,000 yards.
No, but his really bad. Yeah, but his really bad year was quitting.
It was a bad year.
Quitting.
Yeah, and if I got a guy who's going to quit and still give me $1,000.
No, I don't want a guy who quits, Connor. I don't. I want a guy who quits. I don't want because I had 10 other guys in the offense who weren't quitting, and I had guys in the offensive line who were playing extremely banged up, who didn't quit, who could have said, I'm sitting out.
And for the sake of the conversation, you know where I'm at. I want him back regardless. But for the sake of the conversation, if we're going to say Jake Elliott, if he does like one or two things, they win games. If A.J. Brown makes a couple plays that legitimately have been questioned, even by a former Eagle like Jason Kelce. So it's one thing if we say it, Jason Kelce says it's gospel, that if he finished on those routes,
they at least win one more game.
Maybe they win one more
or
game.
a playoff game. They win a playoff game. The idea of I'm floored and I can't figure it out. How are you okay with quitting on?
I'm not
and
okay.
I'm saying with not full effort and quitting in plays.
We're not okay with that. We never have been okay with that.
I'm just hoping
like
in a better in a better situation. I hope those things don't happen. And if those things don't happen, I have A.J. Brown, who is still a very freaking talented wide receiver on my football
But what about
team.
all the other guys who didn't quit?
I don't care about that. Like, here's my thing.
Then you don't care about it. Then you just said
no. I'm looking at A.J. Brown. His track record is 1 year. Even the Jake Elliott conversation is unfair to compare it to because Jake has stunk for 2 years now. It's back-to-back seasons where you're like, you can't handle this. AJ, one season where the offense was predictable by everybody sitting on the couch at home, he got upset with that.
Doesn't excuse him.
No, exactly.
But you're quitting on your teammates during games.
I get it. It doesn't mean he's going to do it again this year.
I'm not trusting that. I'm not trusting a teammate who quits because they're pissed at work.
Well, then you want him traded.
No, I'm saying is if you can get something great for him.
Yeah, but you keep on saying, what if he goes back to it?
No, because what I'm going to say is if you can't get something great for him, I'm just going to have to hope that Sean Mannion and them can get through to him and he can actually be a professional. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'll root for.
And if Sean Mannion stinks,
and that could happen.
We might have to deal with it all over again.
And it could happen. That's why I do believe with all the suitors at the table, you'll get something that
a move's going to happen.
But if Sean Mannion stinks and you draft a rookie, it's not like the offense is going to be good enough to win anything anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to take my chances at professionals. I like professionals.
Well, college kids aren't professionals yet. Yeah. We'll see how they develop.
I don't want to deal with it. I want work ethic. I want teammates that are going to give full effort.
He's got work ethic.
What else? What else we got on the text line? And then we're going to get into a conversation about Eagles season ticket holders.
It's going to be feisty.
This texter checks in, says, confused as to how people think we can lose Dallas and AJ with Saquon and the offensive line a year older, changes on defense, and not think next year will be a step back. It wasn't enough last year. You guys are basically saying that hitting on a new coach will get the team right.
Well, yes, that is kind of what we're saying. If all those guys are back. Look, I'm under the impression that if A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert are back, I need Sean Mannion to be competent. And I think they're a better football team. Kevin Petula was a disaster. All right? Nick Sirianni may not tell you that because Nick Sirianni loves him for whatever reason. And maybe they have great family vacations. I don't know.
Could be.
He was a disaster. And there's a reason why he didn't get a sniff for another OC job around the NFL. All right, didn't get a sniff. I know Hafley, right? That's the new Dolphins head coach, spoke glowingly of Patullo yesterday. Glowingly. I don't care. He sucked. If Sean Mannion is competent with the talent that I know this team is and has, if they're together, I think they're better next year. If all those guys leave, it's a different conversation.
Yes, then we'd have a different conversation. But I don't think it means you have to take a huge, like there's some huge step back that has to happen. Don't believe it.
All right. You sent me something. We were going to get into it yesterday, but then the Sirianni and Howie quotes dropped,
which was
the show.
Awesome.
Really appreciated it. About what Green Bay is doing with season ticket holders.
They're going the route of the SEC.
Which we have talked
some of
about.
the Big 12 teams. Packers season ticket holders are being told that Packers season tickets are for season ticket holders' personal enjoyment and for that individual, their families and friends to attend games and support the Packers. Now, as of last year, more than 155,000 fans are on the Packers season ticket waiting list. So, to ensure that fellow Packer fans will be in attendance, season ticket holders who repeatedly resell their season tickets, whether on the secondary market or through ticket brokers, directly or indirectly, will have their renewal ability impacted without further warning.
I love it.
They are now going after it, and they're stopping it. By the way, so I actually got on the phone yesterday and had to call the Packers because it didn't really outline it much. They are now going with if it occurs more than 2 times.
Okay.
So there you have the games. They are 2 regular season games, by the way. So the preseason games do not count. You have any the 2 preseason
So a quarter of the season.
So if you put more than 2 games on, you're losing your season tickets with the Packers. Long overdue. Bravo. Eagles need to do this immediately.
I love it.
So do I.
I understand that there are people that are going to say, well, this is how I make my money and blah, blah, blah. There are people that you mentioned. How many are on the Packers?
155,000 people are on the season ticket waiting list in Green Bay.
I don't know if we have the number for the Eagles, but I'm sure it's a lot.
It's big. I believe the Eagles number is between 80 and 90 grand.
There's people that have been saying I've been on the waiting list for 30, 40 years, right? If you've been on the waiting list for season ticket holders, text in, call in, YouTube in, how many years you've been on the waiting list, 610-632-0975. Because I'm just curious, like, what's the longest amount of years we may hear from somebody that they've been on the waiting list, that they hear that the Packers are doing this, and they go, wow, that's awesome. Now, for the fan that's going to say, well, I sell it to make money, and I make sure I only sell it to Eagles fans, which that's baloney.
Well, first off, BS.
You can't do that. You're still going to be able to sell 2 games.
2 games out of 9 or 8, depending on how many home games you get.
So you're still
going to regular season.
Make your money.
You can sell 2 or 2 of the 8 or 2 of the 9. Anything more than 2, you are now going to immediately lose your renewal. So during the season, you lose your playoffs immediately.
Yeah.
And you lose any renewal ability at that point on. I think it's fair because when you've got that kind of waiting list for season tickets, this is not an investment for you. These are the teams. The team has the tickets. And I hear this from people all the time. They're my season tickets. I bought them. No, they're the team's season tickets. You're a customer. And their idea is we want our fans in the building.
Yeah.
We don't want you selling them to visiting fans so you can turn a profit. These aren't an investment option for you.
Remember that Sixers-Knicks playoff game?
It's terrible.
That was fun.
So if you say, I believe saying 2 of the 8 or 2 of the 9 is a very fair number, and I love the fact that now in Green Bay, you lose your tickets. It's done, and they have no further obligation to inform you of the rule. Every season ticket holder got the rule.
Yep.
They were sent to them. They do not have to do it.
Now, look, if this rule doesn't exist, the Eagles fans will never be overtaken, right? The Eagles fans will never be overtaken at Lincoln Financial Field. We know that, right? Because there's so many Eagles fans that will not sell their tickets. But there are people that sell their tickets all the time, and there are people waiting that wish that they could have it. That's my biggest thing. My thing is not about making a profit. My thing is not about, oh, my God, the Commanders might take over.
No, it's the
my
idea
thing is there's a guy that may have been waiting for 20 years that wants season tickets.
He wants to go to the games.
But not going to get them because there's a guy that's on the ticket list that's selling them all the time.
And by the way, the Eagles are among the top 6 teams in the NFL, highest secondary market resale. So people that own Eagles season tickets are whoring their tickets out to cost Eagle fans, because Eagle fans are buying them mostly, that costing their own fan base more money to try to get to see their own team. I don't like it. I think it should be a new policy.
Now,
I know somebody that we love doesn't like the policy.
if you are a season ticket holder,
Yes.
and you are one that dabbles in the season ticket to sell season tickets to make money,
Occasionally.
we'd like to hear from you, because I know, as I said going into the break, that this will bother many of you. For those of you who are season ticket holders that do it to sell I know people that have done it. I know people that have done it very close to me that have done it for, like, they make extra cash over the year and they celebrate it.
And I know some that give away tickets. I know some that do that. And we know some that,
So let's discuss it. 610-632-0975. Let's go to Ron in South Jersey.
I think we might know Ron.
I hope he doesn't mess up my taxes. What's up, Ron?
If he does, we're going to jail. Hi, Ron.
Comrades, how are you this morning?
Comrades.
Oh, here we go.
I know somebody's not
All
happy.
right, Ron, why is 2 games, being able to sell 2 games on the secondary market for a season ticket holder, not fair? Not a fair number.
Well,
isn't that fair?
I mean, they should have. Well, first of all, the Eagles make it incredibly easy. Partner with Ticketmaster. I'm happy to send you both, because I trust you both implicitly, my season ticket account login information. And you can see merely by the press of a button that how easy it is to sell.
Sure.
Right.
So the Eagles almost influence it. Now, as a season ticket holder since 1993, up until probably 4 or 5 years ago, I went to every game. I had the 27-foot Winnebago, the whole schmear. The Eagles make it difficult to go to games. Not so much getting there, but when you leave, and Andrew, I don't know if you've experienced this being in South Jersey. John, it's kind of easy for you. But from leaving the game, it sometimes takes an hour and a half or more
to
get out based on traffic flow.
You may spend more time in traffic than at the game itself.
Yeah, it's easily an hour and a half to get, and I live literally 12 miles from the stadium. Most of the time, once the season starts, I get texts from all my clients. Are you going to all the games? Do you want to sell a game? Blah, blah, blah. Rarely do I ever sell them to non-Eagles fans. I put them on Ticketmaster a few times, and the market for Eagles tickets at these exorbitant prices that everybody thinks about is not there. If you can get maybe $100 more than your tickets, you're lucky. And I have good seats. I have 4 in section 241. Row 13, right on the Eagles sideline on the goal line, and I have 2, 8 rows off the field in the south end zone where the Eagles come out.
Now, the Eagles are in the top 6 of fans paying over face value on the secondary market, though. So, so that's a lot of money. That's a lot of, and the majority of people buying them, I think, are Eagles fans. So that sucks.
Absolutely, positively. Well, then you can't do anything about it. What's the season ticket waiting line is what? 50,000 people long?
Yeah, it's definitely a large line. Let's put it that way. 155 in Green Bay, which is crazy.
Right. So from a season ticket holder's perspective, if you can't get to the game, and again, I give them to anybody. I give them to charities. I give them to clients. And on the rare occasion that I do sell them, maybe $50 to $100 over cost, just to cover for no other reason. But I think that playoffs, I don't think we should ever sell our tickets for the playoffs. I think you should either find an Eagles fan that you know.
That's you, Ron. There's a lot of people
people that did. San Francisco had a lot of fans in that building.
This is where I will make my most money. I remember that in baseball with the World Series here in 2022. It was, man, this is how I'm going to make the most money. If I sell my 2 or 4 tickets, depending how many I have, I'm going to make up X percent of my overall season ticket cost.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of it's to me. I think 2 is great, and no playoffs. By the way, Packers, no playoffs.
Yeah, it's good.
That I agree with. Listen, if you sell your tickets to a non-Eagles season ticket holder, a non-Eagles fan, he should be banned.
But if you put it on if you put it on Ticketmaster,
Thanks, Ron.
you don't know who's buying it, right? Like you can't gatekeep who's buying it.
All right, I'll see you boys.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, Right? Yeah,
Take
we
care,
will.
buddy.
We'll be
All
stopping
right.
by the
Love
office
you,
soon
man.
because it's almost tax season. A couple responses on YouTube. I knew we were gonna get one of these from S Fitz. God forbid anyone tries to make money.
That's not yours to make money with.
By the way, you know how you can like
It's not the Eagles. It's the property of the Eagles that they sell to you.
Not necessarily true. So we've had people reach out on the text line about the seat licensing that you can get, where you pay an extra fee to get the license for the seat, and then that gives you autonomy over what you do with the tickets.
Well, the Eagles can institute this same policy. They can. They have the ability to institute this policy. They can do it. So it's not. There's no language that they can say that they can't say to them. You can't turn this into a. They can institute if they want.
Right, but as it currently stands, there are some folks, if you pay that seat licensure, that it's their tickets.
Yeah,
sure.
But the Eagles can still institute this policy.
Yeah.
By the way,
so they can. So the Eagles can do this if they want to, whether they have those seat licenses or not.
Philadelphia 9 on our YouTube chat. Been on the waiting list for 20 years. I called in one time just to check where I was at out of curiosity, and the guy laughed at me and told me not to hold my breath.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to.
So when you hear our caller, Ron, who you and I both love,
sure.
Does that bother you? Like, you've been on the waiting list for 20 years, and you got... Now, at least Ron's doing it charitable sometimes.
And he does. He absolutely
knowing
does.
him, I know he does. Yeah.
He sent Liv and her friends from college to the preseason games 2 years in a row.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Chance to get into the link. I love that. All right, coming up next, we'll get more reaction on this, 610-632-0975.
By the way, the Phillies have already instituted this resale policy, by the way. So they've added it. I didn't even know the Phillies have already done it. I just got news of that from the Phillies.
Maybe the Sixers should, too, if they play the Knicks in the playoffs. Coming up next, Roger Goodell has some explaining to do. The tush-push debate that has vanished. And one person is pointing the fingers to the top. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Eagles willing to listen. I'm Connor Thomas, and Combine Week is in full swing out there in Indianapolis, and you can tell because Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni both met with the media from Indianapolis yesterday. There were plenty of questions about how the offseason's gone so far, where it's still heading, and Howie talked about the Eagles' willingness to listen to offers on pretty much anybody.
We have a value for every player on the roster. That doesn't mean we would trade them, but at the same time, we got to be open to listen. That doesn't mean no necessarily be action, but you got to be willing to listen. We'll do that during the draft as well and decide what's the best for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Of course, the immediate thought there is the A.J. Brown situation, but that's Howie talking about any player. So we could see action this week, and as the offseason continues, Howie's not really one to sit on his hands. The actual combine drills begin tomorrow, so we'll keep you updated. Sixers got a huge boost from the return of Joel Embiid last night. He and Tyrese Maxey combined for 59 points in the team's 135-114 win over the Indiana Pacers out there in Indiana. They'll host the Heat tomorrow. Flyers have their first game back from the break tonight. 7 p.m. puck drop down in Washington versus the Caps. You can hear that game live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Phil's lost to the Marlins 6-1. They'll play the Detroit Tigers today at 1:05 p.m. We'll talk to Adam Schefter today at 8:05 for his thoughts from the Combine. This update's brought to you by Papa John's. Introducing new pan pizza from Papa John's. Order a medium one-topping pan pizza, just $11.99 when you download the Papa John's app or at papajohns.com. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
can trust this Washington College guy to produce. Charity comes in many forms. Kincade Salciunas is back from the break. I wonder what they're going to get into.
7 a.m. hours brought to you by the BetParks online casino and sportsbook app. Live bet sports on the BetParks app. Play all your favorite casino games. There's always another way to win on the BetParks online casino and sportsbook. Got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Coming up at 8:05, we'll be joined by our man Adam Schefter. And I was reading an article this morning about the tush push that made me remember what Adam Schefter said to us last year. Now, it didn't end up coming to fruition. I'll explain more coming up in a little bit, but a lot of YouTube activity on the ticket conversation.
This is a good conversation, too. What did they have to say?
So one of the questions was, well, what if you sold your 2 games and then you get sick? Do you just have to eat it? Yes.
Oh, yes, you do, because you sold your 2 games.
So you would have to be strategic about it, right?
Yes.
Like, don't sell until you have to sell. Or, like, let's say it's Eagles-Cowboys.
Or sell them to, you can sell them, by the way, you can sell them personally, not on the secondary
Right,
market.
it's the secondary market.
You could sell them at work.
Right, you could.
There's nobody that could say you could sell them at work. You could sell them to another fan. You could
or
sell
if
them.
you're sick and you're not trying to lose 100% of the money, here's a pair of tickets. Give me X for it.
Right, exactly.
Which might be
It
below
doesn't stop
market
you.
value.
Doesn't mean you have to attend.
But then there's concern. Well, if this rule happens, WP wants to know, if this happens, then would that not mean less available tickets on the secondary market and more money that you'd have to pay because of the
A lot of questions
demand?
about that. There are questions about that, and that is by the way, that's a logical,
Very fair question.
thing. There is one confused question that a lot of people have, and they don't, because it's a not understanding. And I thank one of our friends with the Philadelphia Eagles for stepping out and joining the conversation on me. There's some confusion about, I'm going to just read it from there's some confusion about the personal seat licenses. The personal seat license does not mean the fan has control of the tickets and it's their tickets. The personal seat license was just a one-time upfront fee that was paid by the fan to secure the exclusive right to purchase the season tickets for that specific seat in that specific stadium that helped finance the new construction or renovations for a stadium. It does not mean that the fan owns the seat and can do whatever they want with the seat.
Okay.
They are still owned. The tickets are still the Philadelphia Eagles. You just own the right to purchase that seat. So the Eagles can't say to you, we're moving you to another section.
Okay,
fair. You're in section. My personal seat license is 50-yard line, this aisle seat, whatever. The Eagles can't move you. You have the personal seat license. But you don't get to just do what you want with the seat. If the Eagles institute this policy, you're subject to it, if you have a PSL or not.
Now, Philly fan 112 Abel. A lot there.
That is a lot. Right? That's a lot.
Philly fan has a question. I think it's an interesting question that I don't know the answer to. Maybe you do because you've been reading up on this more. What if the NFL flexes a game and you can't go?
Okay. Have you already sold your other 2 games?
Would that go under the umbrella of you sold a game on the secondary market? Let's say you already sold 2 and they flex again. It's not your fault.
Yeah, that's it. You've already sold your 2 games. 2 games is the rule. It's 2 games.
All right.
That's the rule.
No exception.
No
exception.
You sold your 2. You know, it's not an investment portfolio to own tickets.
All right. By the way, a little bit of a programming note. Adam Schefter's got a flight to catch at 8 o'clock. So Shefty's going to be joining us at 7:45.
Excellent.
So change of plans, not 8:05 with Shefty.
We don't want
7:45 with Shefty.
We don't want TSA Shefty.
No.
We don't want.
We want Adam Schefter.
We don't want takeoff.
Well, no,
Shefty.
he will be post TSA.
Yes.
Pre-takeoff.
He's
Adam
probably
Schefter.
He's probably in the Chase Sapphire Lounge.
Oh, he absolutely is. No,
Good
he's
job.
probably in the Adam Schefter Lounge for all we know.
Private jet lounge.
Shefty will be joining us coming up at
cost.
7:45. And one of the things we will get into with Shefty is the recent comments about the tush push or lack thereof. Because if you remember this time last year, that's all the talk. All the Sean McDermott player safety stuff happened during the combine last year. It was this time last year.
That's when you started calling him a coward.
Hypocrite.
Hypocrite.
Because he ran the play the second most in the NFL.
You're right. I mean,
and then also said, but if it's not banned, we're going to run it. So he said in one breath, we value the player safety. It's why we want it banned. But if it's not banned, we're gonna run it. So
I agree with your assessment. I loved your choice of words.
So then you didn't. Then you don't care about player safety. You hypocrite.
Exactly.
Yesterday, we'll start with Sean Payton. I saw a lot of the meme of the guy you hate the most saying what I forget the exact meme. Like the guy you hate the most says exactly what you think or whatever. Sean Payton, a guy that not many people like around here. Here he is talking about the tush push and the lack of debate this year.
I think the push sneak, I think if that ever goes away, it's not a health and safety thing, right? We discussed that last year for 2 hours, and we just adopted 1,000 more kick returns. Which play do you think is more of a health risk? 1,000 more kick returns. So I think if we choose to ever move on from that, it won't be because of health and safety. It will just be like we don't like it, which is okay.
Because we don't like it. Now, I don't know why he says which is okay. I don't think that's okay. I just respected more, not respected totally. I respected more the people that straight up said it last year, right? Like Sean McVay was one of those guys that was like, I just don't like it.
Sean McVay, though I think it was a wussy boy.
No, it's still a wussy boy.
A wussy boy
reasoning.
response. I admired the fact that Sean McVay just said it.
He didn't lie about player health and safety
Sean McVay
when there was no
just said,
documented data.
I don't like it. I don't like that play.
So when he says, I just don't like it, well, one of the I just don't like it people or organizations was the Green Bay Packers. They were the ones that started
Oh, they
it,
were.
if you remember. Brian, I don't know how to say his name, Gutekunst, Gutekunst, Gutekunst. He's the GM of the Packers, all right? And he spoke yesterday, as did, I think, every single GM in the National Football League. And one of the things that came up was the tush push because the Packers were at the forefront of it in terms of it being put on the radar. The loudest team, I think, was Buffalo and Sean McDermott. But the team that submitted the proposal to ban the tush push was the Green Bay Packers. Well, the GM of the Packers confirmed that yesterday, that the NFL used the Packers to propose the ban on the tush push. When asked if the Packers plan to resubmit the proposal in 2026, he said, quote, we don't, and nobody's reached out to us about doing it either.
Oh, boy.
If you remember, Roger Goodell was very vocal previously about not liking the play. His words, not through reports. He said it publicly that he did not like the play. And then when he was confronted about it last year, it was, oh, no, I have nothing to do with this. I have nothing to do with it. It's player safety. That's what they're trying to get it banned for, player safety. He himself said publicly that he did not like the way he did not like the optics of the play. Adam Schefter on this show, because we did the weekly tush push update, said Roger Goodell gets what Roger Goodell wants.
So what did they get out of it?
Well, ultimately they got nothing because the vote didn't pass.
What did the Packers had to be getting something out of it.
Right?
Not necessarily. Like I brought it up yesterday. They're kind of the weakest team in ownership structure because they're publicly owned and there isn't a true individual owner.
Yeah, but under the table.
Yeah, but they had to get something out of it. Why would they do that?
They were asked.
They were asked to do it and they complied. Why would you do it? Why would you make yourself the lackeys there? You don't have to do it. They can't make you.
And I remember asking Schefter last year, hey, does this put us in like murky waters that a commissioner can want something?
He's trying to manipulate.
And to me, that's gross. Like it's like Adam Silver with the gambling thing. Adam Silver, according to reports, only started doing this tanking thing because the sports books got angry.
Yes.
It had nothing to do with us. It had nothing to do with you, the paying customer. It had everything to do with the sports books. So if Roger Goodell doesn't like a play and he wants to get it banned, we're finding out that they contacted the Packers.
Yep.
Yeah, this isn't new, though. Let's not pretend like this is the first time a commissioner strong-armed somebody.
No, but documented.
It's documented. This isn't
documented. It is.
This is the NFL approached the Packers and said, "Hey, can you do this?"
We didn't know it. We didn't have a documented report. This is documented.
But I don't like that, man.
I'm surprised it was articulate.
So Adam Schefter joins us next. The latest on A.J. Brown. We'll talk about Dallas Goedert, the potential new-look Eagles offense. But this, with the tush push, I'm glad that it's not being debated this year because the Eagles just weren't good at it. But that's gross to me that the commissioner was like, who's the team that I could use here? We'll speak with Schefter next. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The official start of the 2020.
Really not that bad, at least most of the time.
Now let's listen to more Kincade and Salciunas before I change my mind.
Thank you, Ricky Patalico. We'll be joined by Adam Schefter here momentarily, normally at 8:05 on Wednesdays, but because of everybody's flights in the world being delayed left and right because of the weather that we've been dealing with, Shefty's had some flight changes. It's nuts. My neighbors did finally make it out to Clearwater yesterday. I'm happy for them because that was a scary moment. They weren't sure if they were going to lose another. They already lost one day of their vacation. That sucks. But they did make it down yesterday, so I'm happy for them. Speaking of the weather, as we await Adam Schefter, I drove Connor Thomas home yesterday because
thank you for the carpool.
You're welcome. The city, as you can imagine, is hard to park in right now, and you'll be fine today. We saw you'll be fine. But as Connor and I were driving, we saw a car pulled over because of the snow that they left on the roof of their car.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. How ignorant are you?
I've never seen it actually happen, like a car get pulled over for it, but I saw it. In case you're wondering, how do we know? Connor and I saw the driver of the car wiping off the top with the cop car behind them, lights on, wiping off the top. Connor, after I dropped you off, I forgot to tell you, right over the Ben Franklin Bridge.
Another one?
Another car was pulled over, cleaning off the top of their car.
That's smart.
Stop being, A, lazy, and B, stop not thinking about thy fellow driver. Because when the roof of your car, the snow flies off, especially if it turns to ice, it hits the cars behind you. How do we not know this yet?
It breaks people's windshield.
Yes. It's actually, it puts other people at risk. Oh, it's not going to put me at risk. Of course not.
Exactly.
It's flying behind you. You know what puts you at risk, though? Tickets, costs of money. Just wipe off the freaking top of your car.
Lazy.
It's not that hard. I saw our old buddy Black Gritty posted a photo of a car. They only cleared off the front windshield where they drive. Everything else was still covered. And they got pulled over.
That's incredible.
Justice.
Terrible.
Right. Joining us now here on Kincade and Salciunas from ESPN. Getting ready to board a plane because the weather in the East Coast has been a mess. So, Shefty, we appreciate you still finding the time coming on today. Adam Schefter joins us. What's up, man? Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. I'm about to try to get on my third different flight to Indianapolis. The first two have not taken off. The third one we're hoping takes off. It's now just been delayed by about a half hour. We'll see if it actually leaves or not.
Oh, God. And I imagine, because we know that the Combine is not just about cone drills and underwear Olympics, there's a lot of chatter. I imagine you're itching a little bit to be out there. Is that correct?
That would be accurate. And, it's a little frustrating. I was supposed to be there last couple of days and have not been able to make it. And it's now Wednesday, and there's one of these a year, and it looks like my time's running short here.
Oh, well, hopefully you get there safely, Shefty, and then we can ask you next week about whether or not A.J. Brown's going to get traded, which we will do at some point today. But right before we brought you...
You can't have a week and not discuss that.
Well, last year, this time, was the weekly tush-push update. This year, this time, it's the weekly A.J. Brown update. But before we get to A.J. Brown, let's bring up the tush-push. It's done. They're not voting on it. And the GM of the Packers pretty much admitted yesterday that the league came a-knocking and said, hey, you're the team that's going to put in for it to be banned. I remember talking to you last year about how that made me feel gross, that the commissioner or somebody from the commissioner maybe have pinpointed the Packers to be the team that did that. So what's going on with the tush-push? Is it just because it wasn't successful? Why is it not being voted for this year?
So if you go back to September, at that point in time, I reported on Sunday Countdown then in September that there was no appetite to bring it back again this year, and that they did not expect that there would be a sponsor for the push ban. Now, again, I think last year drained so much energy from people. It took so much away from them that they just don't have the stomach and appetite to go through it again, honestly. Like, they did everything they could to get it banned last year. It didn't have the support. They couldn't get the support. And they just didn't have the stomach to go through it again this year. Now, that doesn't mean it won't happen again next year, but There we go.
Well, they didn't have the stomach to go through it because obviously last year they had an agenda. This year, the agenda didn't exist. I mean, last year we had coaches clutching their pearls, talking about player safety,
and then running it
and
in
coming
week
up
one.
with things, and then being some of the teams that ran the play the most in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, you can't reach player safety and then also be lobbying for an 18-game season. Like they just don't go hand in hand. And so, there is discussion out of both sides of their mouths on this issue, and Sean Payton alluded to it yesterday at the press conference too. Talk about player safety, and then have things like this that fly in the face of that don't make sense.
Schefter, one player that we've not talked as much about because it's not getting the same headlines as A.J. Brown is Dallas Goedert, the future of Dallas Goedert. What is the market for a 30-year-old tight end that's had the injury history that he's had, but had a tremendous season last year for the Eagles? Is there a market across the NFL for a player like Dallas Goedert this offseason?
Yeah, well, I think there'll be a market. And here's the thing, is that these teams are going to have more cap space than ever before. And with the added cap space, you're looking to spend it on good players. I mean, that's the deal. And he's a good player. So, to me, somebody will pay him a good salary in relation to the tight end market, I would think. But again, that's what a lot of this week is about, right? Getting a feel for that. And you get a sense of that in Indianapolis, which we'd love to get to one of these days if one of these flights would leave and have conversations about those types of things. But I would think that there'd be a market. It's not going to be, gangbusters. You never know. I mean, you never know. But I would think there'll be a market. We'll see.
Adam, it appears that with the added, as we say, the salary cap, more cap space than ever before with with the salary cap going up, and you've talked about the trade market also could be more active than ever before with a less than attractive free agent market out there of players. This could be the year where teams want to acquire draft picks too, because draft night, you may see the draft being the most active trade draft we maybe have ever seen.
Well, I think every draft is like that, honestly. I don't know why.
No, with players involved too, potentially, is what I'm sort of saying.
Oh, well, wait, yes. I mean, I've suspected that we may have a robust trade market this offseason. We're coming off a year in which there were a ton of trades before the trade deadline. And I think that would be a continuation of it in what is considered to be a substandard free agent class. So, if that's the case, again, these teams are going to want to spend their money somehow, some way, and we'll see how it goes.
Schefter, last week, the temperature, which was the terminology you used, was 46 degrees out of 100 that A.J. Brown does get traded. So last week, it was more likely that A.J. Brown is back with the Philadelphia Eagles. I know you have not been able to make it to Indianapolis just yet, but what have you been hearing most recently about A.J. Brown and his future with the Eagles?
Well, you saw the Eagles officials parading through Indianapolis yesterday, which we're still trying to get to, talking to all sorts of media and reporters about A.J. Brown. And I watched and listened to a number of those interviews, and my takeaway was exactly what we said last week, is that anything's possible. There's always a price on everybody, but that they're planning and hoping that he's back. Sean Mannion, the new offensive coordinator, has all kinds of I'm just getting a bunch of texts here from a bunch of people. Hold on a second.
What we got cooking here?
Just read us the Goodell text, word for word.
Why he wants the tush push ban next year?
Yes.
Yeah. They don't like that we're saying that the elite. No.
Yeah.
It's a case where basically, you heard what they had to say. Like they like him back. They didn't say the shadow of a doubt that he's back, because you just don't know how this is going to go. But that seems to be the line that they're adopting now. I don't know if that's to raise the sale price on him or not, but that's kind of where it's at right now. My sense would be that he's back, but it's certainly not a certainty. How about that? Right? Like, which is what I said. What I said on the temperature scale last week, I said, 55% back?
You said
right?
46, right?
46% chance he gets traded. So that would be 54% that he's back last week.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we're in that area there.
You want to give us an updated total?
It's right in that range. You know, I think it's slightly more likely that he's back than not, but I don't think it's a certainty.
As far as the Eagles' defensive players, there's a lot of contracts that have to be signed there. They've got a lot of young talent that has to come in there. How much, I wonder if the flexibility of maybe making the offensive side of the ball cheaper would benefit them on being able to lock down that young defense and lock down some of those contracts they have to get. And that could be part of Howie's agenda.
Yeah. But they got a lot of players that they're going to want to keep and bring back.
Yes.
And that's why it's tougher to go out and spend a shit ton of money on a lot of other people. So we'll see how that works out. But I think that they've got some big financial decisions, and that's what this week about, is getting a feel for how this all works out.
I could tell somebody's frustrated with their flight delays.
I can imagine. That's the way it works.
Schefter, you're the man. We appreciate it. Good luck getting to Indianapolis whenever you do.
Yeah.
Why don't you text John when you get there?
Please take care of yourself.
Yeah. It's been 3 days now, and trying to get out, and it's I'm a little bit out of my mind right now.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. Well, good luck. We'll talk to you again next week, and once you get there, enjoy yourself as much as you can.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
There you go. Adam Schefter from Terminal 3.
Oh, man,
maybe he's like Tom Hanks. Maybe he's been living at the airport.
He's not happy. He is not a happy kid.
Adam Schefter dropping a cuss word.
Well, he's not. Well, no, he's not happy. Not a happy camper.
Oh, how can you blame him? I mean, like,
no,
I hate when my stuff gets messed up.
NFL insiders, they're just like us.
I'd be hanging out in that lounge, though. I'd be all right. I'll hang out in the lounge.
Keep boozing. All right, coming up next, we will reset our topics. Also, do you have a headlines? Because we had to surpass today's headlines. It's like the old time. 8:10, today's headlines with Connor Thomas.
I'm ready to go.
That comes right next. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
If you're going to be engagement ring shopping, I want you shopping at the one place where I guarantee you're going to get the right answer. That's the bridal collection from my friends at Benari Jewelers. Benari Jewelers has 2 beautiful showrooms in Exton and Newtown Square, and online at BenariJewelers.com. They also have their 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. You're not going to find that at the mall jewelers. You're not going to find that online. Let that sink in. You pay $10,000 for a diamond, you're going to get $11,000 if you want to upgrade it. That's a great deal. That's peace of mind. That's a company that believes in their products and honors their customers, because Benari wants to create a long-term relationship with you, just like you're creating that long-term relationship when you put that dazzling ring on her finger. Don't get distracted by the latest fads. Let the classy folks at Benari Jewelers in Exton and Newtown Square find the perfect diamond, create the perfect ring, and create the perfect moment for you. Benari Jewelers, with 2 great showrooms in Exton, Newtown Square. You can check out the directions and everything online at BenariJewelers.com. You will want to get your diamond there, and you're going to get peace of mind and that 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Tell them John Kincade sent you in.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Merging offensive schemes. I'm Connor Thomas, and Combine Week is in full swing for everybody besides Adam Schefter, apparently. As Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni met with media from Indianapolis yesterday. There were plenty of questions about how the offseason has gone so far, and there's still plenty more to get to in the offseason. Nick Sirianni got a chance to speak about the balance between Sean Mannion's new offensive principles as the Eagles OC and the ones that have worked here in Philadelphia so far.
Obviously, Sean comes from a family of coaches, and things that he's done that we really respect, that we know is tough to defend. We know we've done a lot of good things here as well, as far as some of the things we've done that's hard to defend. So being able to sprinkle some of that in, those will be all things that we're looking to do.
So more of a balance striking than a complete takeover of a new system. We'll see how that plays out. We'll also see how the Combine plays out. The actual drills begin tomorrow, so we'll keep you updated on that. Sixers got a got a huge boost from the return of Joel Embiid last night. He and Tyrese Maxey combined for 59 points in the team's 135-114 win over the Indiana Pacers. Sixers host the Heat tomorrow. Flyers have their first game back from the break tonight. A 7 p.m. puck drop down in our nation's capital, taking on the Caps. Live on 97.5 The Fanatic is where you can hear that game. Phillies lost to the Marlins 6-1. They played the Detroit Tigers today at 105. This update's brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone with AutoZone. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help troubleshoot the likely cause of your pesky check engine light for free and get you back on the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone with AutoZone. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
The garage door went up and it was snowing again, Connor.
Yeah, it was snowing when Andrew and I were driving in.
It's just unbelievable.
And it's killing Schefter's travel, but we still got good information from
But
him.
it is. And the Eagles are at the Combine, and we got story after story coming out of that, which was crazy. I mean, it's just a lot of interesting tales being told, and everybody wondering about why. There's one player, by the way, yesterday, an interesting point being talked about is that player being traded talk yesterday at the Combine, A.J. Brown 1, rest of the NFL 0.
Really?
Yeah, and this is from a writer of the L.A. Chargers. Players being traded, traded yesterday when he was doing Combine interviews. At this point, now this was a tweet from 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Indianapolis time. He goes, A.J. Brown 1, rest of the NFL team 0.
So it's 2 o'clock here. The Eagles
other
spoke
teams.
at
So no other
2:45.
teams. He's going.
I mean, look, Crosby's going to be talked about a lot.
Yeah, but he's going around. And he's just like they're not. It's A.J. Brown talk is talk for a reason.
Here's the one thing that, and look, I don't. Here we go. Got to couch it. I don't want him traded. Blah, blah, blah.
You don't.
One thing that I think people are missing, because there's a lot of I don't believe this to be true, even though Howie and Nick have talked about, like, hey, we got to listen to all offers, which I think is the right thing to do about every player. Hell, if a team offered 4 first-round picks for Jalen Hurts, you'd do it. You know what I mean? Like,
I would say goodbye.
There's a price. There's a price for everybody, right?
Yes,
so you should always listen. I just brought up Crosby. How much did we talk about Myles Garrett last year? What did the ownership groups or GMs of those teams do? They immediately came out and said, we are not trading Myles Garrett. The Raiders have already come out and said, we are not trading Crosby. That may not be true. They may be full of it. They may be doing that to raise the price of the player that they could trade and the haul that they would get back. But those teams have straight up said, we are not trading these players. Myles Garrett did not get traded. He got a contract extension. Max Crosby did not get traded last year. He got a contract extension. Have you heard them come straight out and say, we are not trading A.J. Brown? No, they haven't.
No.
And
they're
that's something that I think
and
people
they're
are
answering
missing.
questions actively about it.
Yeah. I don't want him traded, but that is something that I think people are missing. All right, one of our topics today, we'll get our text messages here, Connor, and then we got today's headlines with Connor Thomas at 8:10. Normally it's 7:40, whatever, 7:47, 7:50, but because Schefter had to change because hopefully he's getting on a flight soon. What is more likely to happen for the Eagles in 2026? They take a step forward or a step back? And we're asking this question. You give the answer, but you also tell us what you believe goes on with the roster because a lot of you choose to not believe, refuse to believe that A.J. Brown could be traded. A lot of us are wondering whether or not Dallas Goedert is back, right? He's a free agent. He could leave. He could go anywhere for all we know. Or he's back. We had a guy on YouTube the other day complaining that we were talking about A.J. Brown too much. What about Nakobe Dean? Nakobe Dean might not be back.
I think Nakobe Dean's as good as gone from
I
what
think
you heard
so
yesterday.
too. I don't think Nakobe Dean has there's a shot that he's coming back. At one point, they straight up asked about him during the press conference yesterday, and they did the whole, we have a lot of good young players in the room right now. That's kind of, and they talked him up because they're going to.
Because they like the guy.
Yeah. How can you not? Other than the health, unfortunately. Like, Nakobe Dean is a lovable player. So what do we got on the text line? What is more likely, step forward or step back? And you tell us who's on this roster. What do we got?
Stephen Thorndale checks in. Now, if you think that Eagles fans are making an emotional decision based on step forward or step back, which is okay at this point.
Sure.
Steve is a Broncos fan. He makes sure to note in this text. And he says, I think if the Eagles score 24 points per game, they'll be a serious problem. That's not asking that much. I think that's an easy way to take a step forward.
And he understands it being
fine.
a Broncos fan that had that defense. And if Bo Nix doesn't get hurt, they're probably playing in the Super Bowl.
Oh, they would have been in the Super Bowl.
And all they needed to do was, hey, Bo, go out there. He played great against the Bills. But for the most part, kind of like Sam Darnold in the playoffs, just don't screw up. We might need you to play a really good game, which Bo Nix did against Buffalo, which Sam Darnold did against the Rams, because there are some teams you're going to have to do it against.
Absolutely.
Right? Matthew Stafford and the Rams, Josh Allen, the Bills, where it's not, hey, we're going to be able to win this game 17-13, right? Like, there are some teams you can't do that against, which is why I hated the Eagles' offense last year, because I think they relied too much on that we could just keep low scores and win by running the football and not getting first downs and just burning clock and getting stops. So from a Broncos fan perspective, yeah, if the Eagles just become average offensively, they're a very dangerous team.
It's going to be great.
We said the same thing the year they won the Super Bowl, just if the defense was average, they ended up being the best. That helped. That helped a lot.
It certainly did.
What else we got?
Joe from West Philly checks in, says they're going to have a step up. That offensive line is not coming back as trash as it was last year. Step up is my guess for 2026.
You hope. We had the texter last week. What if Lane Johnson has his Jason Peters season? That would suck, right? If he's walking off the field every other first quarter, because that's what happened to Jason Peters. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but we don't know.
Correct.
What if Landon Dickerson is banged up again? What if Cam Jurgens' Brazilian stem cell or wherever he went?
Yeah, I mean,
what if it doesn't work?
It's all I know is that it was you've got these guys, what they faced last year was catastrophic.
Right.
Absolutely catastrophic.
I would like to think that won't happen again.
I would believe that the odds of it happening again to three guys in your offensive line across the center of your offensive line and everything is cataclysmic, that you won't see that again.
But what are the odds that all five are healthy?
Oh, I would say I would say nil.
Kind of were in the Super Bowl year. I remember there was
but they still missed games.
Yeah.
Lane missed games this Super Bowl year, didn't he?
No, I'm saying like come playoff time.
No, I got you. Yeah.
What happened? Did Cam Jurgens miss a game? What was remember the
No,
back?
Cam had to come out of the NFC title game.
That's right. Yeah, and then Landon played center, and
it was just weird,
and they played through it.
Yeah, they played through it all.
What else we got in the text line?
Tired conversation, trade A.J. Brown. Wired conversation, trade Jalen Hurts. This texter says, what is wrong with people? If we trade A.J. Brown, this team will stink, and the quarterback will continue to stink. He's been very inconsistent. If he loses a top 3 receiver, do you think that makes him better? Trade QB1.
It's so crazy to think that there's not a how do you say it? I think enough people don't watch college football. They don't watch college football.
Right. That you can
there are more talented wide receivers coming out of college football.
Yeah, look at what Igbuka did.
It's amazing.
Immediately with the
and
Buccaneers.
physical wide receivers out of the A.J. Brown mold are now becoming more the thing.
In fairness to the texter, Justin Jefferson was available. We got Jalen Reagor. Right? Like, just because there's very talented, immediate impact wide receivers doesn't mean the Eagles will necessarily hit on that.
Okay.
Look,
we could keep going back to 8 years ago in the draft or 9 years ago in the draft. The Eagles have hit on 6 times as many as they've missed on. Yes, that could happen. You could have that happen. Absolutely. We've had Devontae Smith since then. They could have missed on Devontae Smith. They did not. They did not. They did not miss on the trade for A.J. Brown. They could have. And guess what? There are trades for wide receivers that don't work out.
Yeah. Now, A.J. was a proven, very talented player in the NFL. I still
he was a
no
proven
idea what the Titans were doing.
I don't either. And
there's a reason why they're at where they're at.
And either did their head coach.
Yeah, and that's why he got to the Super Bowl in year 2
Exactly.
or in year 1.
He wasn't
with
happy.
New England. All right, we had to move things around because Adam Schefter, pretty fair to move
Yeah, I think
things
it's fair
around
to
for
do
Adam
that.
Schefter.
Yeah.
But it is time now for today's headlines with Connor Thomas.
Today's headlines with the Connor Thomas.
We got the.
It's brought to us by Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, like maybe you've missed 3 flights to Indianapolis, remember the name, Lundy Law. Your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com.
Yeah, and you know that because of what he does.
Oh, it's driving him crazy.
You know
he's
itching.
Not sure it technically counts as an injury, but we'll call for Adam just in case. We're going to start out with Nike on the hot seat. We got an issue here. And if you've seen the movie Air, you understand a little bit about the inner workings of how Nike became big with the Air Jordan line and all the process they go through to make these big decisions. Well, if you try and order a U.S. men's hockey jersey right now to try and celebrate the gold medal win, what you're going to get is Air because they're out. They're out of the jerseys.
How many did they sell?
Well, they sold a bunch, but the reason why they didn't have enough in stock here is here's the announcement from Nike. Nike, which handles the manufacturing of hockey merchandise for Team USA, did not produce enough stock because Canada, not the United States, was expected to win Olympic gold.
Are you kidding me? Did they make that official statement?
That is in the quote in this article I have right here.
Yeah,
that is outrageous. Why would you say it?
Unbelievable.
But why would you say it?
I always knew Oregon was too close to Canada.
I don't even understand why you would articulate that. That's incredible to me. It wasn't that before the tournament they weren't that big a favorite. That you wouldn't have hedged a bit. That's incredible to me.
Yeah,
that's truly incredible to me. That's incredible.
You can't say that.
No, you can't. Why would you say that? Why would you admit your stupidity? That's crazy to me. That's incredible.
Yeah,
to me.
and well, I'm sure they're gonna make a bunch of them.
Oh, I'm sure,
so
but it's going to be
It'll
delayed.
just take some time.
Yeah, that's crazy. Though.
That's a shame there. Tell me if this is fair or foul, because we've seen coaches get fined all the time for criticism of the officiating in games played. Mark Pope, he just found himself a $25,000 fine after Kentucky lost to Auburn in a 74-75 1-point loss on Saturday. Now, he did his post-game press conference. He got through all of it. He talked about the game and his team's performance and his disappointment with the loss. And then as he's leaving the stand, the microphones catch him leaving the room saying, "Mitch, if those mother try to find me, they can't. I didn't say a word about how they cheated us." It was not during the press conference, but caught on the microphones while he was leaving the room, and that's why he got fined. Is that fair or foul?
I think it's foul because he was not saying it. But then again, he probably knows the mic's on. I don't think he should be fined for it.
I don't think he should be fined for it.
He was saying it, off the record.
Yeah, I don't think he should be fined for that.
If he said that at the podium, then he gets fined.
Yes.
But he said
whether
it
you
next to the
agree or
podium.
disagree.
At the podium, fined. Away from the podium, not fined.
Yeah, I don't think so. He was fined.
He was $25,000
Are
out
you
of the
kidding
pocket
me?
for Mark Pope.
Yeah, I don't think that he should be.
That's a joke.
I think that's wrong.
Yeah, I think that's a joke.
Do you have another official related story in Post Show headlines?
I have an umpire related
All
one.
right, good. I was wondering because we have some
I'm
extra
glad
time.
we got this.
Go ahead.
Oh, there is a lot to break down with Mitch Tretiak, who was behind the plate for the Pirates
He's Russian.
Red Sox spring training game yesterday. Just a wild game all over. The Pirates win win 16-7. Ranger Suarez on the mound for the first time for the Boston Red Sox, by the way. And 5 straight challenges. Now, they were not consecutive pitches, but 5 straight times that a challenge was made, they were all overturned. And some of them were egregiously bad for Trejciak, who are just missing left and right. There are going to be some umpires that look real silly with this thing.
Yeah, it was bad.
He missed 5 consecutive pitches.
Yeah. Now, one of them was, by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Right?
No, he missed 5 consecutive
But the other
pitches.
4 were like, he missed. He missed calls.
They weren't consecutive pitches. It was consecutive times
challenged.
Right. And
But the challenges there, he was wrong on every one of them that they challenged.
Right.
And to me, that is all the more reason why the robot balls and strikes is going to be perfect.
Now, he's a AAA guy. He's not a regular major.
And he should stay there.
That means he's been dealing with it.
And he should stay there.
Because they've been dealing with the ABS challenge system in the minors, right?
He should be more adept at this. This guy should stay in AAA, or better yet, maybe go to the Little League World Series. Because he is definitely incompetent.
Little League World Series, everything's a strike because they're trying to speed the games.
It's terrible.
Along pretty quickly. Look, it's gonna be really interesting. I saw somebody put out a tweet. They wished Angel Hernandez was still an umpire so that we could see how he dealt with this.
He'd find a way to cut the wires,
or like a guy like Joe West, how he would have dealt with the robot umpires. I wonder what happens. You got anything else before we continue?
No.
All right, thank you. So, in case people don't know, the ABS system is coming to Major League Baseball this year, the challenge system. Like, if a guy has a really bad game, like,
it's going to crush him.
Yeah, because now it's like.
And I say good because what is this going to do?
Oh, I agree. Good.
When baseball comes back with the next collective bargaining agreement, baseball umpires behind home plate will no longer call balls and strikes.
It'll just be straight up.
It will be straight up a ABS system, which is, again, on average, 99.8%, 0.87% accurate, which is by tens of miles more accurate than any human has ever been behind the plate.
Because here's the deal. Like, I get it that people don't care about their feelings and stuff, but like, this is going to get to a point where there's going to be some embarrassing. Like, that was an embarrassing 5-pitch stretch for this guy.
That's awesome.
The umpires union, I imagine, would also want just the automatic balls and strikes because this is going to become embarrassing for them.
But you know what's going to happen too, though? The owners
lose money.
The owners are going to say, "We ain't paying you the same money if you're not calling balls and strikes."
Yeah, they're going to lose money because they're doing less work.
Yeah, you're just there to call safe or
Yeah, and you know what? That's reviewable too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, pretty soon you just need Big Dom behind home plate to break up fights. Like, that's like what?
I mean, it really is.
What's the point of an umpire going to be if everything's reviewable? That once it's official balls and strikes are every single time it's just automatic.
On the broadcast yesterday, if you didn't hear it, Major League Baseball Network had it. On the broadcast yesterday, said this is going to be the perfect example for every fan who's ever said they should just go to the ABS system full time.
That's what I said. I never wanted the challenge system. I said if you're going to do this, just go all. Like, what's the point of doing a challenge?
Because it will show how bad these umpires are and how bad they miss on routine balls and strikes.
Yeah, but you know what? I needed that before ABS, or I already knew that before ABS. Like they've had the box. Like, I've seen umpires miss. I've seen umpires have really bad. There's a Twitter account that literally points out the percentage of calls missed every single day during the season. I already know that some umpires are really, really bad. So why do I need them to be embarrassed?
Well, it's just saying, fix it.
This is just straight up do it.
We have a system that can fix it to almost 100% accuracy. Just fix it. There's no charm in an umpire getting it wrong. There's no charm in one umpire saying, I like to call the high strike, I don't like to call the low strike.
There's a charm in that for some. There's for some of us baseball
There
people.
is a strike zone, and it is a strike zone for a reason.
Man, I saw one of the calls. The umpire called it wrong because the catcher did a hell of a job framing the pitch.
And that's a beautiful thing.
And that art's gone. And that's something about the sport of baseball that I love. The art of catching, the art of framing a pitch, that goes away. But again, if you are going to do this, it's like the DH. I was anti-universal DH. I'm not saying that I love pitchers hitting. I love the strategy of it. Do I have this guy bat a second time?
Right.
Do I pinch hit for him? If I pinch hit, do I do a double switch? I love the strategy of not having a universal DH in the National League. I knew it was happening eventually, so I had to stop complaining about it.
I was kicking and screaming, and I found myself never complaining about it.
The automatic balls and strikes, if you're going to do it, which it's going to we all agree it's going to happen at some point, right?
No, it's going to happen after the work stoppage.
Then why not just do it now? Like, why are we doing this?
Because the Players Association will whine and complain.
All right, well.
Because they believe there's a charm in it. They believe there's a charm in it.
Just don't half-ass it. Just go
right.
all the way
Let's
through
do
with it.
Yes.
Especially
awesome.
if you're taking away the art of framing a pitch, you know.
The art of framing a pitch.
Oh, brother, don't you dare.
It's an art.
No, it's just this. Get the call right. Just get the call right. There's a strike zone. Call it right.
Yeah, you paid a catcher $45 million. That doesn't have to do
I can't help it that you bid against yourself and you did that.
Doesn't have to do his craft anymore.
Exactly. His craft. Just get it right.
It is a craft.
Call it right.
Don't act
just
like
get it right.
framing pitches.
No, just get it right.
Yeah.
Deceiving an umpire used to be a thing. Don't make it a thing anymore. Get it call right.
Take away the craft.
There you go.
All right, coming up next. Whether you believe Nick Sirianni made the hire of Sean Mannion or not, all eyes will be on him this season. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Eagles with ears open at the Combine. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Combine week has gotten really rolling as Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni met with the media from Indianapolis yesterday. It's clear that not only were the Eagles willing to talk, but they were willing to listen. Howie Roseman talked about potential trade opportunities. Obviously, the focus is A.J. Brown, but he mentioned with pretty much any player, hey, we're willing to hear what you have to say.
We have a value for every player on the roster. That doesn't mean we would trade them, but at the same time, we got to be open to listen. That doesn't mean there'll necessarily be action, but you got to be willing to listen. We'll do that during the draft as well and decide what's the best for the Philadelphia Eagles.
And of course, we know how aggressive Howie Roseman can be as the GM of the Eagles. We'll keep you updated. The actual Combine drills begin tomorrow, so we'll get to see some of the collegiate players take their big shot. Sixers got a huge boost from the return of Joel Embiid last night. He and Tyrese Maxey combined for 59 points in the team's 135-114 win over the Pacers in Indiana. Sixers host the Heat tomorrow. Flyers have their first game back from the break tonight. A 7 p.m. puck drop down in Washington against the Capitals. You can hear that game live here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And the Phils lost to the Marlins 6-1 yesterday in spring training play. Detroit Tigers, the opponent today, 1:05 p.m. first pitch. This update is brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone with AutoZone. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help troubleshoot the likely cause of your pesky check engine light for free and get you back on the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone with AutoZone. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
What's up, guys? Andrew Salciunas here. It is 8:29 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. By the way, you mentioned the Pirates Red Sox game yesterday because of the ABS challenge system.
Yes, where Ranger pitched.
Ranger did pitch.
And they called him Ranger, by the way.
Yeah, they're not going to call him Ron Hare.
So, he said, look, if you want to call me by
I
my
didn't
actual
realize
name,
that.
it is Ron Hare. It's not.
Yeah, it was Ranger.
But he said you can call me Ranger. Like, he's fine with it.
And the umpire could not call a ball and strike on Ranger.
The Connor Griffin. So you're Connor Thomas. You are now the second best Connor that I know.
Second? Bro, there was one that just won us a gold medal almost single-handedly.
That's true. So you're third.
It's the year of the Connor.
What happened?
Connor Griffin is the 19-year-old prospect that they have, he's the number one prospect in baseball, right? Dude, mashed 2 home runs yesterday. Like, just stepped right up and was like, yeah, I'm the number one prospect. Let me show it to you.
Okay.
In his first ever spring training game, goes deep. One of them was off of Ranger. One of them was off of Ron Hare.
Ron Hare.
So just a name to keep an eye on is Connor Griffin. You're third. Third best Connor.
I'll take third.
Not bad. It's
Definitely
bronze.
beating the hell out of
It's
McDavid.
bronze. You're at the podium, baby.
Yeah.
Bronze shines just as bright as gold.
As long as I get my stuffed weasel or whatever.
Is that Canada's next tweet? Is that their next tweet?
Yeah, the Canada weak.
Oh, my gosh.
Just absolutely weak with everything
stop.
that transpired
Just stop.
after this hockey stuff.
They went into just spiral mode.
Yeah, it was horrible. All right, before we get back to text messages, Ralph Vacchiano, we got to have him on. Maybe we'll book him later this week or next week or something.
I like
we
Ralph.
mention him all the time from Fox.
Does a nice
he's
job.
their senior reporter for Fox. He wrote a big article on Nick Sirianni. The title is The Big Picture, Eagles Nick Sirianni taking major gamble with Sean Mannion hire. Now, again, you can choose to believe whatever you want about who made the hire. I side with you, John, that it's always a Howie production, especially after they let him hire his best friend, Kevin Patullo, and the disaster that took place with Kevin Patullo.
Does Ralph believe it? Does Ralph actually believe it's a Sirianni hire?
He's going off of what Nick Sirianni said, things that Nick Sirianni have said.
Okay.
But he basically straight up said, regardless of what you believe, this is going to come down to Nick Sirianni. He said, if Sirianni gets this decision wrong, he may end up paying for it with his own job. The stakes really are that high for him and for the Eagles after their disappointing Super Bowl defense last season ended with a wild card exit in the playoffs. It wasn't hard to find a fall guy for that either. Offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo was running a dysfunctional offense that struggled to find an identity. Struggled. They never did.
When did they find it?
I added that part. That was not written by Ralph.
Oh, okay.
And as soon as the season ended, it was clear he had to go. Patullo, of course, was a first-time play caller, too, and it showed over and over again, which is why it was so shocking when Sirianni, again, chose to hire a novice in Mannion. It's a decision, in fact, that almost impossible to defend, except with Sirianni's deep conviction that despite what anyone else might think, this time he has it right. Basically, what he's saying is this is a big risk, and if it doesn't pay out, regardless of who you believe actually made the decision, and you've been saying it for weeks now, that if things don't go well this year, you think Sirianni's out.
I think Sirianni's gone. If this team, if they go as far as this year or less, Nick Sirianni is gone, period. I have I don't even hesitate on that. He's gone. So they have to win a playoff game. Win a playoff game, go further. If they lose a wild card game next year, he's gone. Absolutely gone. I don't care if they win the division again. He's gone. They won a division this year with 3 losing teams. Gone. Doesn't matter. This team has higher goals than that, higher expectations than that. They should have higher expectations than that. They right now are tied with the best odds to win the NFC.
Right.
Not winning a wild card game is not the goal. And I believe he's gone. I don't even have a hesitation with that. They're not going to keep doing this.
If Sirianni gets this one wrong, too, he'll be on the hot seat. 3 years ago, when the Eagles were trying to get their second straight Super Bowl, Sirianni nearly lost his job after the Eagles finished the season on 1-6 tailspin. Thanks to his Super Bowl championship in 2024, he wasn't in a similar deep trouble after the Eagles faded late in 2025 and then exited the playoffs earlier. But even despite his 59-26 regular season record and 2 trips to the Super Bowl in the past 4 years. All that's like ridiculous, right?
It is ridiculous.
He might not get any grace from his bosses if his 2026 team underachieves as well. Sirianni put all his faith in Mannion's background and his perceived potential because amid a thin resume, he can't bank on anything else. So let me ask you guys this. This is a life question. Would you, if your job's on the line, because it kind of is, right?
It is. No, his job's
if your
on the
job
line.
is on the line, are you hiring potentially the next big thing to save it, help save it? Or are you hiring someone that has done it before and all right, it can't be as bad as last year. It might not be great. Sean Mannion could be great. But I know like a Jim Bob Cooter is not going to be worse than Kevin Petullo. What would you have done?
Well, remember, some of the big names didn't want any part of him.
Mm-hmm.
Mike McDaniel didn't want to work for him, chose another thing for whatever reason. Declan Doyle didn't want to be a part of it.
He's a first-time player,
and he went. But I understand.
I'm asking what would you personally do?
I would go with. I'm going to do what the Eagles did.
All right, you would have gone
with the best candidate that I feel
that wanted to come.
I'm going to go with because, and honestly though, I look at it a little bit differently because I would be looking at it and saying I believe that, Nick's making reportedly, if you believe it, between $9 and $10 million a year. I think he's fine doing what he thinks is best. And that Nick will get another head coaching job if he loses this one. So I think he's going to go with what he thinks is best. And by the way, I don't think he's a buffoon. I think he's just a guy who goes with his heart sometimes.
Yeah.
And that can sometimes hurt you.
I don't think
the man's a buffoon. I think he does.
I think offensively sometimes.
No. I think he's incompetent to do those things. Yeah. But I don't think he's a buffoon. Like I think this guy, there's a lot of things he does well. And so hopefully he'll be able to do some things well here.
Connor, what would you have done? Because I've said it. I wanted somebody proven. Yeah. And if I'm talking about me personally, now you're right about the whole $9 to $12 million thing. Like, I mean,
he's probably
okay.
$9 to $10 million is what he's reportedly making.
But if I'm living paycheck to paycheck, I probably would have gone after the guy.
More proven
that may not be, hey, this is going to be the greatest thing in the world, but I know it's going to be better than last time. What would you have done?
I wanted that for the Eagles, but I'm also in any bet I remotely believe in, I empty the account on it, right? Whether it's a coin toss or otherwise. Sometimes you lose. But I'm here to win. I'm not here to keep this job. If I win, I will keep the job. But my goal is not to be the Eagles head coach forever. My goal is to win a damn Super Bowl. So I'm going to do whatever it takes for that. And if that ends up costing me my job because I took a shot, I took a shot. But there's one goal here. It's not sustain. It's to summit the mountaintop again and again and again.
I would hear that in a job interview, Connor, and I'd smile. I'd hear that in a job interview.
You're hired.
No, but I would smile. I would ask for a lot more data as far as how you're going to go about it, but I would like
Connor
that.
Say,
but
vibes.
No, but that
it's just a feel, bro.
But that mindset is what I would want to hear from somebody that I'm going to hire.
You don't keep a job by trying to keep a job.
Correct.
You keep a job by trying to do great things.
Correct.
All right.
I like that mindset, Connor Thomas.
All right. What do we got on the text line, Connor Thomas? 610-632-0975. Daniel Miller, by the way, on YouTube. LOL, can you imagine firing a coach who made the playoffs in 6 straight years and went to 2 Super Bowls and won one of them?
Yes.
No, I can't imagine it.
I can.
But it might actually happen.
Yeah, I can. I can absolutely imagine that they would do it, and I think that they would.
And I don't think I do think it's a little extra because it's the Eagles and what the Eagles believe that they can accomplish.
Right.
But let's not lie. Like the NFL hasn't become like the NFL's become this. It's a what have you done for me lately league. Every single national reporter would tell you that. It's not just a Philadelphia thing, but there is also a little extra in Philadelphia. Howie Roseman has said on record, this is not a town you can do a rebuild in. You can retool, but you can't rebuild. They have very high standards for themselves. And It's a great way to go about it. It's better than saying we have a good club. We won 96 games. Like, it's much better to have those standards. What do we got?
That shot. Always taking the shot. DJ Milk.
Because it's true. Like, I heard Howie again yesterday on ESPN with Rich Eisen talking about how, like, look, we thought we were going to go back, and we didn't. Things happened, so things had to change.
Yeah.
Whereas Dave Dombrowski's like, what are you guys complaining about? You had a good summer.
DJ Milk D checks in.
What, are you upset that you're going back to school? You had a good summer. Like, that's what Dave Dombrowski says.
DJ Milk D checks in, says, I have concerns because of the new OC and the new offensive line coach, but I believe we will still win the NFC East. Further than that, I'm unsure if they're taking a step forward based on playoff performance.
So maybe a status quo, because we did throw that one out there too. Like status quo is you won the division, but you lose a first-round playoff game. It'll be interesting to see what this roster looks like. This entire topic changes in a month.
It does.
Right? If we get word that A.J. Brown's back, Dallas Goedert resigns, some players leave, but you have an idea what they're going to do in the draft, which we all know it's going to be an offensive lineman, especially if they don't acquire a first-round pick for A.J. Brown. You know it's going to be an offensive lineman. Then you can update your expectations and your beliefs about whether or not they take a step forward or a step back. But if it comes out that A.J. Brown gets traded, Dallas Goedert signs elsewhere, 2 months from now, the draft, we react to what the Eagles do in the draft, all this could change.
It could.
We're basing this off of right now and what you believe happens, not based off of fact. Fact is, there are trade talks, which people are still ignoring. What else we got?
This texter in South Carolina says, speaking of buffoons, you're a buffoon if you'd want to fire a coach with that track record.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's when I read it, when I say, despite his 59-26 regular season record and 2 trips to the Super Bowl in the past 4 years, he might not get any grace from his bosses if his 2026 team underachieves. Like, that's nuts.
No, it sounds nuts.
But it's reality.
And I would say to you, explain to me, sit down there, if you're saying that the people who say it would be buffoonery, explain to me what Nick Sirianni has controlled. Explain to me what he does. And when his teams have underachieved, woefully underachieved in those other years, what did he do to try to fix it, and where was he inadequate to do that?
And there will be some people, and I wonder, not to put words in the mouth of the texter or on the keyboard of the texter, there are people that do the perspective thing.
What perspective?
Well, there's a lot of teams that would kill to be in the position.
That doesn't work. And that doesn't. I guarantee you this much.
DeCecco sat right to your left and said it right after the Eagles lost in the playoffs.
Howie Roseman doesn't care about that.
But there are Eagles fans that feel that.
Yeah, but Howie Roseman doesn't care about that.
Yeah, but Howie's not 100% right all the time.
Howie Roseman, though, is the one who makes the decision.
Well, sure, but
he's the only one that matters.
No, he's not. The fans matter, too. Your opinion on this matters.
No, because Howie Roseman, the fans aren't going to make the call. Howie will make the call.
Right, but he's giving his opinion.
Oh, I know that, but Howie's going to make the call. He's going to say, it matters.
And if we disagree with Howie's call, we're going to call him stupid.
Sure,
We've done it before.
Do that.
We will do it again.
And he'll make you look stupid.
He was going to get fired by a lot of people, including myself, like 5 years ago.
Exactly.
All right, coming up next, in honor of the tush-push debate not happening this year and just going away, what are some of the biggest sour grapes moments that you can remember in sports history? Doesn't have to be Philadelphia. It can be anything. We'll give some answers coming up next. We want to hear from you on that as well. 610-632-0975. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Going to tell you that Dan White and Associates have been in business for around 4 decades. What do they do? Well, they specialize in retirement and financial planning. So what does that mean? That means that they deal with money. They deal with your money that's going to plan for that beautiful, let's just say, what you want to do with the rest of your life plan. Or they're going to deal with how you're going to get that next house. How are you going to pay for that college education? How are you going to fund the lifestyle you want to live? They've been helping families for 4 decades. That's why they host educational seminars throughout Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Maryland. You can go to one, have a great meal, by the way, and be a passive listener and just sit there and just listen. See what they can do for you. They have offices in Glen Mills, Middletown, and Lewis, Delaware, where you can get that, opportunity to have a complimentary no-risk consultation. If you want to have that money conversation in a private setting, you can, and then you're going to want to have that. And you're going to find out the money conversation doesn't have to be intimidating, and you can feel like you're going to get your money on the right track. Let them stress test your retirement plan or your financial plan. Let them help you make one. Dan White & Associates. You can trust these folks. Check out danwhiteandassociates.com on the web.
Spring training's underway. The Phillies are preparing to Fanatic app.
All right, it's 8:47 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Coming up at 9:05, our old friend Rob Motti, of course, former member here of 97.5 The Fanatic, now the senior writer for the Associated Press. He did not have travel issues to Indianapolis because he was flying out of Florida, so that helps a little bit, I would imagine.
He's got that Tampa airport, which is the
great.
We just love
My
it.
favorite airport in the world.
Love it. It's so great.
I love it. I can't wait because I'm going in April, and like from everything, I'm a loser. Like the monorail, I love the monorail. And Coop loves the monorail. Like
I'll be there a week from today. I'll send you a picture.
It's such a nice airport.
I love that. After we got off the monorail, Coop asked if we could ride it again. I was like, I don't know if we're really allowed to do that.
Oh, you can ride as much as you want. Why not?
You could, but like, I don't want to do that. I want to get to my.
Wouldn't you have to go back out through the security or not?
No, because
because you can get back out to that lobby. Yeah. Why wouldn't you do that?
Because I want to get to my destination. I went to vacation, not monorail.
Oh, I'm talking about like on the way back. Yeah, but on the way back, you could do it.
Yeah, I could. I got
go there early and do it.
All right. Biggest sour grapes sports moments that you can think of. So the tush push, let's face it,
was big time.
It was all sour grapes. They did not like it. They wanted it banned. Roger Goodell wanted it banned. We find out yesterday, per the GM of the Packers, that the league was the one that
prompted them to be the ones
to put in the proposal to ban the tush push. So I have one. But I'm curious if you guys, did you think of any during the commercial break? I can go first if you guys want.
Go on. Give us one.
All right. I hate this man. I say it publicly all the time. J.J. Redick. But not Philadelphia related, even though it does kind of include Philadelphia.
What's the sour grapes?
When J.J. Redick got traded from the Pelicans to the Mavericks. Very random, but he got traded as a cap move. He got traded to Dallas.
Okay.
And he was offended by the Pelicans front office that he was not talked about being traded, and he was not allowed to request where to be traded to.
Oh, he wanted to pick his spot?
On his podcast, he said that if he was going to get traded, he wanted to be traded to a team in the Northeast so that he could be closer to his family.
Oh, we already know that.
Where have I heard that before?
He's such a...
When J.J. Redick wanted to stay here in Philadelphia to be close to his family, he then took the bigger contract in New Orleans. New Orleans is not closer to Brooklyn than Philadelphia.
No, it's
not.
New
Orleans is not relatively close to Brooklyn like Philadelphia or other cities are here in the great Northeast.
His little grift is almost over because there's a lot of talk that he's going to get run.
He stinks.
That
As
he's
a
going
head
to
coach,
get run.
He's a know-it-all. He thinks he's a know-it-all. It drives me nuts.
He's unbelievable.
Anyways, J.J. Redick getting traded to Dallas and then be like, well, they didn't ask where I wanted to go. Because you were 36 years old and you were not doing the one thing you're supposed to do well. And, oh, by the way, he leaves Dallas. He retires because he was so upset. What did Dallas do the very next year? Dallas went to the Western Conference Finals. You could have stuck around and been a part of that team and actually won something for once in your career.
So he articulated that on a podcast?
Yeah, he was upset. Wow. It wasn't worth it anymore.
That's incredible to him.
Yeah.
That's
so J.J. Redick is him being upset that he was traded to Dallas and not being asked about it. When he could have stayed in Philadelphia, like he said he did, under the table, according to reports, he then went to New Orleans and then got upset.
That's incredible to me. I hadn't heard that from him, but it is very on brand for him.
Yeah,
that is sort of on brand for him.
By the way, I also have Sean Rodriguez calling Phillies fans entitled after he struck out looking, and he got booed. That was the story. He struck out looking, got booed, and then after the game, he called Phillies fans entitled.
Sour grapes is a hard one. That's Connor, do you have one in mind?
Yeah, we just had an all-time one. Like Bill Polian keeping Bill Belichick out of the first ballot is the
Connor,
ultimate.
that's great.
Well,
one.
he thinks he voted for him.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't remember.
Someone put Pop to bed if he can't remember who he voted for.
You're right. You're right. You should know what? He should not. If Bill Polian cannot articulate who he voted for, he should not have a vote. His voting should be removed from him because then he's obviously not in tune with who he's voting for.
Yeah, or he doesn't care enough, or he's flat out lying to you to try and cover up the fact that he kept Bill Belichick out.
By agenda. all due to an agenda to try to punish
There's a
him.
lot of Hall of Fame stuff with that. The TO Hall of Fame stuff on both sides, where it's just like, oh, we're not going to put him in because of the way he acted, but then also he's not going to show up.
Yeah, voters.
Wait a minute, no. What did you think, though? Did you think T.O. was being a bitch boy?
I mean, I think both sides are sour grapes. Treating him that way, denying the resume because of the way he acted,
right.
And then him saying, yeah, you know what, screw you guys, I'm not going to show up.
I'm going to do it from, didn't he do it from his college?
I thought it was driveway, shirtless.
No, that was something else. Yeah, that was another T.O. moment. I would say any voter of a Hall of Fame, period. Well, sour grapes somehow.
I could tell you this. The sour grapes is what I think of as the losers being upset about it. Like, is that I'm trying to think of the losers being
Team Canada.
Well, we already know.
We were ask anybody. We were the better team.
Well, Canada. How about Canada just as a nation this week? They've been taking a lot of L's.
Yeah.
They've been on the losing end of the stick.
Let's go to another team. How about the San Francisco 49ers after the NFC Championship game?
That's a great one. That's a great one.
Is that yours or did you get off the text line?
Oh, this is all me.
Okay, that's fantastic.
No, that's a great one because
that is a great
every member of that even Robbie Gould, the kicker, was one of the guys that was like, if we were healthier, we would have you're Robbie Gould. Like, what impact do you have?
I mean, that might be the best one, and I can't believe I didn't think of it.
All right, so if you have any sour grape, and again, it doesn't have to be Philadelphia. Like, it could be anything. Best sour grapes moments in sports. A lot of it is also guys that don't get re-signed, they get traded, they get upset. Like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson did that.
You guys are too young for this, but I heard it my entire life living down south by people when the 93 Phillies beat the Braves in Game 6 at the Vet. When the Braves team bus was trying to leave, you know how getting out of the Vet, like the fans would line the parking lots and everything leaving. They rocked the bus of the Braves bus. I heard about that forever, and Braves fans talked about that forever. The classless Phillies fans were rocking the Braves bus and almost tipped it over.
When?
Oh my gosh. It was like they almost tipped it over. Could have killed people.
Trust me, we can flip cars around
that's
here.
a little aggressive of the Phillies fans.
I understand, but seriously, give me a break.
If we wanted to tip it, it would have been tipped.
And Connor, that's what I always have said. That is the point that I've always tried to make. It would have been tipped. If it had wanted to be tipped.
You ain't stopping us.
If it wanted to be tipped, it would have been tipped.
All right, if you have best all-time sour grapes moments in sports history, let us know. 610-632-0975. We'll sneak in a couple of answers in that coming up next because Rob Motti joins us at 9:05. He's in Indianapolis with the Combine. What is being talked about the Eagles? Jalen Phillips, another name that's being mentioned a lot. As a free agent, could he return to the Eagles, or what's his market like? There's a lot of talk going on around there. Rob Motti helps us out next. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Balancing the offense. I'm Connor Thomas, and Combine Week is in full swing as Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni met with the media from Indianapolis yesterday, and there were a lot of questions going around, as there always are when Howie and Nick meet with the media. Nick Sirianni, of course, was asked about new offensive coordinator Sean Mannion, how that's going and what the offensive direction will look like this year. And Nick Sirianni talked about the balance that he hopes is struck between Mannion's principles and the Eagles sustaining what they've done before.
Obviously, Sean comes from a family of coaches and things that he's done that we really respect, that we know is tough to defend. We know we've done a lot of good things here as well, as far as some of the things we've done that's hard to defend. So being able to sprinkle some of that in, those will be all things that we're looking to do.
The actual Combine drills begin tomorrow, so we'll get away from the news cycle a little bit and more to actually watching the guys get ready for their NFL opportunity. We'll talk to Rob Motti live from Indianapolis coming up next. The Sixers got a huge boost from the return of Joel Embiid last night. He and Tyrese Maxey combined for 59 points in the 135-114 win over the Pacers. Sixers host the Heat tomorrow. Flyers have their first game back from the Olympic break tonight. It'll be at 7 p.m. down in Washington, taking on the Capitals. You can hear that game live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Phils lost to the Marlins 6-1 yesterday in spring training play. They'll take on the Detroit Tigers today at 1:05 down in Florida. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
is more likely, a step forward or a step back for the Philadelphia Eagles as a team? I set my bar.
The defending champs with the best odds to win the Super Bowl. I think it's crazy not to.
And I was a wuss, and I set my bar at
were wimpy
NFC
boy.
Championship game. I don't know where to set the bar this year.
So I set it at Final Four. They are a team that I believe will advance further than last year. So there's the question. My answer to that is simple. They are going to advance further next year because I believe this year was a complete underachievement. But they will, Final Four to me is the standard of where they need to get to have a season that is of the level that, and then when they get there, whatever happens, happens.
AJ and Dallas Goedert could be gone. A.J. Brown is still a Philadelphia Eagle. Dallas Goedert is not because he's a free agent.
And I think Dallas is going to be gone too.
Who knows what other trades happen? Who knows? Things, expectations change. Sean Mannion, 4 weeks into the season, could look like the greatest offensive coordinator ever. We're going to say, wow, I got to update everything that I believed in February, in June, in August, and right before kickoff when we officially get on the record. Are you thinking about trading?
No, exactly. Well, they did
name a player.
They did it yesterday. Just to show how stupid it was, because you got people going, these A.J. Brown stories, it's media creation. And they went down. They did. How would Howie Roseman answer that question about Jalen Carter, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith?
And the media doesn't care
Cooper
respectfully about like a Grant Calcaterra.
Now back to the show.
All right, that's what we've been getting into this morning and a whole lot more. We just also opened up a topic about biggest sour grapes in sports history. Now, this is gonna upset some people.
Did we get a better one than the San Francisco 49ers?
The Fink checks in with a very similar situation.
What's that?
Saying that the Saints players who said they would have beat the bleep out of the Eagles if they beat the Vikings. I've said it 100 times. I think the Saints beat the Eagles.
I think the Saints beat the Eagles.
I think the Eagles,
yes,
as wonderful as that journey was,
correct,
had a lot of things go their way. I don't think they beat the Rams.
I don't think they beat the Rams. They don't beat the Rams Saints back to back.
Right. I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either.
And
I think it was magical.
Like let's not forget that the Falcons game came down to, Julio Jones.
And maybe Julio Jones getting what could have been a penalty.
Right. Like that
could have been a penalty.
That game came down to the very wire.
Right.
So the Niners won, like the Eagles beat them.
Yes.
Right, like that's why that one's even worse. Like the Saints, sure, they're playing in make-believe land, but I could see that result happening if it were a game. The Eagles-Niners, even before the injuries, nobody thought the Niners would come in here and beat the Eagles. And then the Eagles smacked the crap out of them.
Conversely, the Niners at least made it to that game.
Yes, they made it to the Super Bowl the next year.
Make it to that level.
But the Saints are playing make-believe land, where the 49ers whined after actually playing the Eagles and losing and getting crushed. By the way, so much is made about, if Brock didn't get hurt and if Josh Johnson didn't get hurt. I mean, we've seen him beat the Eagles, so maybe Josh Johnson could be. The Eagles weren't getting stopped. Like on offense, They scored 31 points. Like that's something that I think it's lost. Oh well, if our quarterback didn't get it, were you going to score 6 touchdowns? Because the Eagles' offense was having their way with the Niners' defense.
Remember too that the Saints the very next year got back to the NFC title game and got screwed at home on that call.
Yeah, the pass interference call that led to a one-year rule of being able to challenge pass interference.
I mean, they got screwed. So for a second consecutive year, they missed the Super Bowl because of something crazily happening at the end of a game. So that was a bad run for the Saints.
Minnesota Miracle, man.
That was a bad
play.
Connor, you really believe they would have beaten like Rams Saints? I do not.
I mean, it might be revisionist, but I watched them beat Brady's best Super Bowl performance ever.
But,
you watched them play the Falcons and not play well.
I know, but they won.
Terrible.
Like, I just can't ever believe that team was losing to anybody. I think that magic was insurmountable.
I think the magic was atmospheric.
And again,
I think the magic also helped them out in other places. I don't think they're beating the Saints and Rams, or Rams and then Saints.
And again, thank the Kincades for that Super Bowl title, because Keanu Neal kicks that ball with his knees on the interception, and if Keanu Neal had not bought my house and was not living in my house when that interception was made.
You.
I'm just saying.
Everybody thinks John Kincade.
He bought my house, and then looks what happens. The curse. He gave some good Eagles juju. It worked out in our favor.
Damn right, man.
I love it.
Damn right.
Love it.
All right, we're going to be joined momentarily by Rob Motti. The Combine going to be taking place soon, but all the people have gathered in Indianapolis except for Adam Schefter. He's the only person that's not there yet because of all the flight delays.
It's incredible. Cancellations.
Cancellations. Right.
By the way, I think it's 6 cancellations of flights over a 3-day period.
Oh, God.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's horrible.
That's terrible. You keep thinking, okay, I'm getting on the next one.
But if you're flying out of Tampa, you don't have as many issues.
No, it's a great airport.
Joining us now here on Kincade Salciunas, one of our favorites, senior NFL writer for the Associated Press, our man Rob Motti joins us. Rob, good morning. How are we today?
What's going on, guys? You're right, man. It is a great airport out of there. Indy's a pretty good one, too.
He sounds so happy.
Yeah.
Since you become a Florida resident, you sound even happier than you used to.
What's not to like?
Listen to him laughing at us.
Well, he knows what we're dealing with up here with the blizzard conditions that we keep on dealing with. And Rob's like, I'm going to go to the beach today.
Yeah, I think it's going to look good.
I do miss building a snowman.
Sure you do.
No, you don't. No, build a sandcastle.
Yeah,
all right,
exactly.
It's pretty much the same thing. All right, Rob. So you're in Indy for the Combine, and of course, the underwear Olympics are not happening yet. So right now, it's silly season. It's illegal tampering. It's all the behind closed doors talks that are happening. When it comes to the Eagles, we'll start with A.J. Brown. What is the latest that you've been hearing around the people that are speculating about the future of A.J. Brown with Philadelphia?
I think the feeling around most people in the NFL and just the buzz here is that ultimately he will probably be traded in this offseason. And I thought it was interesting the way Nick and I know what he said to the Philly beat writers, and then what he said yesterday, and then Howie Roseman too. They didn't come out and guarantee that he'll be back. Howie said the right things, in that you're going to smart business is to listen to any offer. I think that's what you do for anybody. And Howie didn't want to say it's specific to A.J. Brown, and that they're going to listen. And I think John Spytek did the same thing when asked about Max Crosby. Like, he was asked 5 times if Crosby's going to be back with the Raiders, and he said yes, yes, yes. And then the last question was something like, is he untradeable? Oh, well, no, we're always going to listen, man. So guys are going to listen. I think they've reached a point in this relationship with A.J. Brown where if someone was going to make them an offer that they think is going to be beneficial, and Howie keeps talking about, hey, we want to be a better team, we're not looking to subtract great players, understandable, but there could potentially be a way where you can still be a Super Bowl caliber team this year and not have A.J. Brown on the roster. I think A.J. Brown's a great player. I think he's still an elite wide receiver in the NFL. And if he was happy and he wanted to be part of the team and he didn't cause distractions, there could be a place for him on the Eagles. But at the same time, if there's an opportunity where they can improve the team in other ways, get some draft capital in the process, or however they do it, I think there's a possibility they move on from A.J. Brown. The problem is, a lot of guys, and Howie has built such a reputation as a master trader. A lot of GMs, and I thought it was pretty neat yesterday when John Spytek says, it's like they pause when Howie calls and they start talking because they don't want to get fleeced. So they're careful. That sometimes it's not going to work against them in that they're not going to be able to make a trade because he makes more trades than anybody. But it is interesting that that's the reputation he's built and continues to build that credibility around the league.
Rob, when you think about, though, the A.J. Brown situation is, and Connor and Andrew and I debate this often, I'm okay with Howie going and getting the best value for him that they can possibly get, because of the fact is, Dan Orlovsky pointed it out on NFL Live. He said, I wasn't doing segments last year on players quitting on routes around the NFL on many players, and he was doing it on multiple games on A.J. Brown. I mean, there was a problem last year. I don't know how I'd accept that as a coach, an organization, or even a teammate. but it seems like he's still considered a great teammate.
Yeah, and that's a great point because, and I do. There are other players who do that, and Dan does a tremendous job. He's phenomenal at what he does. AJ was highlighted last year because of, and at no point during last season, guys, did I ever think there was going to be an AJ Brown trade. I thought all of that stuff last year was just clickbait nonsense. I didn't think the Eagles were going to do it. It didn't make sense from a salary cap standpoint. It didn't make sense from Super Bowl champions trying to repeat standpoint. None of it made sense. I thought this offseason was the time where you can potentially explore that. And as much as they say you don't get better by subtracting great players, there is something to the addition by subtraction theory in that if somebody's going to be a constant distraction, if they're not putting out their best effort on the field all times, even when they're not involved in a play, you bring somebody in who's going to be able to do those things, and now you're helping the team. So it's a unique situation. There are teams around the league who certainly are. A.J. Brown would be such a great fit for other teams, whether it's the Patriots, whether it's the Bills. I don't know how Kansas City could potentially work him into their salary cap, but I look at him as being that kind of guy to where T.O. was for Donovan in 2004, way back. I can't believe that's 22 years ago right now. But he could be that guy for Josh Allen. He could maybe be that guy for Drake May. He's got that relationship with Mike Vrabel. They were okay with Stephon Diggs. I think you're going to be okay with A.J. Brown. So there are teams that are going to be willing to make a move. They still got to figure out the salary cap problems, too. They still got to figure out the cap hit and all those ramifications of it. And it's $23.5 million, I think, is the cap hit. What's the dead cap money? All of that stuff. Howie can figure it out. So if at this point, I think they're going to listen. There's going to be opportunities. And as you get closer to the draft and you see what teams are willing to offer, and maybe you make that move, and then you parlay those picks and you move up in the draft and you grab somebody else or whatever you can do. Eagles are going to be in good shape. I still think they're going to be in good shape regardless.
Rob Motti, AP senior NFL writer, joining us here on Kincade and Salciunas live from the Combine. Rob, we've also been talking more about some of the other players that are hitting the free agent market for the Philadelphia Eagles. What's the market out there for a guy like Dallas Goedert? What's the market out there for a guy like Jalen Phillips? And I'm guessing everybody's saying the same thing. Nakobe Dean, good as gone?
I spoke to Nakobe at the Super Bowl on radio. He was doing his rounds. He was talking to a lot of guys, and he certainly wants to come back. He's happy that Vic Fangio is there, and he would be in a familiar defense, and he would be going back to where he had success. But from the Eagles' standpoint, how much money are they going to allocate to Nakobe? They've got potential in-house replacements. So I do agree that I think it's more unlikely. Dallas Goedert is going into free agency at a time where he's 31. I think that Dallas Goedert is a guy who can be a great fit on certain teams in specific offenses. So will the Eagles have an opportunity to bring him back? Certainly. Do they want to bring him back? Or do they a lot of that, and I don't get into them. I have to do mock drafts. I don't get into it yet until after we get through this week and after we go and we see what these guys look like and all that stuff. There's a lot of folks out there who are projecting the Eagles to take a tight end sort of as a replacement for Dallas Goedert, thinking that he's going to move on. Jalen Phillips is a guy that is going to get a lot of interest because edge rushers they're at a premium, guys. There are so many teams in the NFL. When you look at how the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, you look at how the Eagles won the Super Bowl, they dominated up front. Now, that means the Eagles certainly need a guy like Jalen Phillips who can get to the quarterback, but he's going to get a lot of opportunities in free agency. He's going to get a lot of offers. And I think given his history, maybe depending on how much money, it may not be the worst thing if you go in a different direction. I thought it was interesting that BG told me yesterday he wants to come back. And we know what BG is at this point in his career. But that's a veteran guy who's still versatile, who is a great player and a great teammate, great player in the locker room. Certainly not going to be counted on to play 65 or 70% of the snaps, but that's somebody who I think if they ultimately don't get everything that they need, they know they can bring him back as another piece in the rotation. So I think Howie's going to approach this offseason like he always does. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to try and make moves. If the Eagles start losing players on the roster, I wouldn't panic if I'm an Eagles fan, because you're talking about a roster that last year didn't get to the Super Bowl. So let's see how it goes early in free. They may not be making a big wave early in free agency, like 2 years ago signing Saquon, but it may take a little bit of time. Ultimately, I think they get there.
Tell me, if you say Rob Maaddi, who is the first Eagle on the defensive side of the ball to get a contract extension this offseason, and who is the second? Just by your gut instinct.
Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis are guys that you certainly want to keep around. Cooper DeJean, Quinyon, like you got to look at the two corners, right? You got to look at the two all-pro corners who are a big part of what this team and what the defensive identity is.
But this offseason, they can't get extension, right? They can. It has to be. But do you think Carter goes first, or do you think Davis goes first as far as getting the money?
Yeah, Quinyon and Cooper are still a year away.
Yeah, they're still a year away. You can't give them money.
One's a year away. One's 2 years away.
One's 2 years away.
Yeah,
right.
One's 2 years away.
Cooper will be next year. You could offer him. Quinyon will be 2.
Yeah. So I would go, man. Carter's such a bit. He's thought of the thought of Carter around the league is that he's that potential, and he's been around now long enough to where it's not potential, it's what he's shown on the field. But he's thought of so highly that if he were to ever hit the free agency market, he'd be gone in a heartbeat.
Hey, Rob, last thing for you, man, and again, thanks for coming on, and we're so happy for all the success that you're having with the Associated Press. Somebody on our YouTube chat, we've been talking about this a lot, just what the return package for an A.J. Brown could be. Have you heard anything about sort of a realistic return? We've talked about first-round picks. I know there's ESPN articles about a second and a third. What do you believe is a realistic return for A.J. Brown? If it's just A.J. Brown for what?
Day 2 picks. I don't think you get a first-round pick. The way teams value their first-round picks, and then you just look at historically some of the trades that have been made in the past few years. If you go back to, and I just remember the whole debacle with Deshaun Jackson, and he was a superstar at that time, and they don't get anything for him. With A.J., where he is right now in his career, I think if you were able to get a 2, that's a 2 and maybe an early day 3, whether it's a 2 and a 4, whether it's a 2 and a 3 that's conditional that could potentially be higher. Maybe it's a 2 and a 3 and then you swap picks somewhere else. I think that's what's realistic. If it's just straight up for draft picks, not including any other players. And typically a trade like this is going to be that way.
Okay. All right, Rob. We appreciate the time, man.
Go
Thank
build
you
a
as much.
snowman.
Yeah. Is there what's the weather like in Indy right now?
When I landed, it was like 11. So it was pretty good.
But there's habit trails everywhere, so you can. Just
and at
walk
least
in
you
those
know
tunnels.
that you're going back to 70 at some point. Right?
Like John said, you just go right through the tunnels.
It's so awesome.
And that's it.
What a great city.
You don't have to be outside.
You're
Great
the man,
city.
Rob. We
It's
appreciate the time. We'll talk to you again soon.
Take care, guys.
Thank you,
Rob.
buddy.
Rob Maaddi.
Imagine being able to walk from. If anyone's never been to Indianapolis, I'm going to try to give you a thing. Imagine being able to walk to the historic district, so down to 5th and Market, and being able to walk to City Hall in habit trails, so like up top or down below.
Ithaca, when I toured Ithaca.
It's beautiful.
That's what they have there.
It's fantastic.
It's freaking cold there.
But it's fantastic. And then there's vendors along the way. So you want to grab a Dunkin' Donuts, you want to grab a newspaper, you want to stop in a little shop, you want to have a little coffee. It's a fantastic layout.
Yeah,
it's
you
beautiful.
know what's not a fantastic layout is the fact that Rob Maaddi's saying that it's more likely than not that AJ gets traded, and you're not getting a first for him.
So I was just about to bring that up. Like if I got to ask you, John, because you're more Connor and I are like, no.
I think he's. I've been saying all along when nobody else was. By the way, now everybody's joining the trip that he's going.
Okay,
and I think they're going to get a 1.
You are like 1-4, right? Now, what if they don't? What if?
No, if it's just a 1, I'm still doing it.
No. What if it's a 2 and a 4? Like, are you still doing it?
No.
All right.
I might not. Well, no, it might not be.
He said
Depends.
day 2 picks.
If you told me. If 2 and 3 get drafted there and they develop into who they are when they get to the NFL level, that just tends to be where they're shot because you tend to buy defensive ends, cornerbacks, everything. It just tends to be the aisle you shop in. Doesn't mean that they're necessarily valued. So I have no problem shopping that. You told me a 2nd and a 3rd, I'd consider it. I'm not hanging up the phone.
I'm out.
I'm not hanging up the phone.
Click.
Because I want professionals. I want professionals.
The phone is being clicked. I want it to be a landline so that I can actually do Here, I want this sound. If I was Howie Roseman, I'd say, call me on my landline with that offer.
Do you guys even remember landlines?
Yes, I remember.
We're not 12.
You act it sometimes. Be honest.
That's fair.
There you go.
Coming up next, why Philadelphia fans are freaking amazing. When you do put things into perspective for other cities, I'll explain more coming up next. Also, why we have it pretty good here. Because you saw an interesting breakdown of coaches in the NFL.
It's amazing.
We'll get to those coming up next. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Howie talks trade value. I'm Connor Thomas, and Combine is running over in Indianapolis, as we've heard from a bunch of GMs around the league, including Howie Roseman. Nick Sirianni also meeting with media yesterday in Indy, and there were plenty of questions about the offseason, how it's gone so far, and for Howie, more where it's going, as roster moves still have yet to take shape. He talked about listening to offers on a lot of players, including but not limited to A.J. Brown.
We have a value for every player on the roster. That doesn't mean we would trade them, but at the same time, we got to be open to listen. That doesn't mean there'll necessarily be action, but you got to be willing to listen. We'll do that during the draft as well and decide what's the best for the Philadelphia Eagles.
So that wasn't a no. That was a, hey, we'll see. And that should be something that Eagles fans who want to see A.J. stay might make them a little bit nervous. The actual combine drills begin tomorrow, so we'll keep you updated as news continues to come out. Sixers got a huge boost from the return of Joel Embiid last night. He and Tyrese Maxey, 59 points combined in the team's 135-114 win over the Pacers. Sixers play the Heat tomorrow. Flyers have their first game back from the break. They're down in Washington taking on the Capitals at 7 p.m. tonight. You can hear that game live here on the Fanatic. Phillies lost to the Marlins 6-1 in spring training play yesterday. They play the Tigers today at 1:05 p.m. This update's brought to you by Uber Eats. You hungry? Good thing Uber Eats has a great deal waiting for you at La Scala's from now till March 31st. Get a buy one, get one free deal on Rigatoni Vodka on the app. Order now only on Uber Eats. Terms apply. See app for details. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
97.5 The Fanatic Philadelphia. More of Kincade and Salciunas coming your way now.
The final hour of Kincade and Salciunas is presented to you by The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. You need details? Go to bagster.com.
All right, it's 9:30 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. We'll get a couple text messages in a second, and then Johnny's got this
it's amazing
great breakdown of the success of some teams in the NFL.
Ours the best.
Yeah, love it. But one thing I wanted to point out, just how awesome we are, Philadelphia fans, and also awesome that we have it. Even though the Phillies offseason's not been necessarily exciting.
It's been terrible.
You know that Baycare Ballpark is going to be packed, right?
Okay.
Because it's a destination for people, and it's a fun thing to do. I loved it. This is the first year I'm not doing spring training since COVID. Like I love it down there. I'm going down literally on my own personal vacation after spring training. It's how much I love that area.
I'm going in July.
Yeah,
it's fun. A lot of fun. We love it.
I watched a home run from Charlie Condon, who is a prospect of the Colorado Rockies. So they play in Arizona. Beautiful weather, right? This guy hits a home run. The camera angle when he swings is from the first base dugout. He's a right-handed hitter, so you're looking at his face. There are 3 people in seats behind him. When he hits the home run onto the grass, just like the Phillies have at Baycare Ballpark, there are 2 kids running for the baseball. 2. So in this video of a home run, I can count 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 10 or 11 people. So we pack spring training games. That's how obsessed we are with sports. And don't just give me, they're in warm weather. Of course. Arizona, I imagine the weather in Arizona right now. In Scottsdale, Arizona, I imagine is pretty good right now, especially if you're from Colorado. You might want to get away and go to Scottsdale, Arizona. It just shows how awesome Philadelphia fans are. It shows also how awesome it is that we have a team that, even though we're disappointed with the offseason, at least there's hope, right? You hope that the bullpen is so good,
right,
and the bats do enough and they get hot. If you're a Rockies fan, what hope do you have?
You don't. You go into two-thirds of the clubs know they can't win a World Series.
That sucks.
No other sport. Well, NBA. NBA begins. I wonder if more NBA teams or more Major League Baseball teams know they can't win the title every year.
It's definitely baseball.
It's definitely baseball.
Because basketball, you could always kind of hold out hope that one player's the difference.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at Detroit. Look at Detroit this year. Detroit's never won a playoff series. San Antonio's never won a playoff series, and they're both the 1 seeds right now.
Remember, Jimmy Butler was an 8 seed getting to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, exactly.
I know Bam's a good player. Right. The Pacers run last year.
Baseball, you don't have that.
Yeah. No, it's like, are you good or are you not? There's no oh, wow, look at this team that no one expected.
Right.
Like,
the last time was the Nationals, I guess? Was the last time that happened in 19?
Yeah, because they were what? Was it the Nationals or the Braves the year they won where they had the worst record in baseball through 60 games?
It was the Nationals.
It was the Nationals. Because they both kind of were similar. The Nationals had the worst record in baseball, 60 games in the season. But when they won, you looked at the roster and you were like, oh, okay. It was more so a shock that they had the worst record in baseball through 60 games. All right, what do we got on the text line? Then Johnny's got a very, very interesting breakdown.
So we have folks checking in on the sour grapes moments that we've been talking about. And this one is a little bit of a throwback, so Johnny will have to help us more on this one. Kind of sour grapes.
Thanks, Connor.
Well, we weren't around for it. Single angriest moment I've seen in sports in my 53 years of life, George Brett getting called out during the Pine Tar incident.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
He pulled a nutty that was just, let's just say it was bad.
Now,
it was bad.
I wouldn't say George Brett storming out of the dugout is sour grapes. It's the fact that they then went to the league and tried to They argue the result of the game, right?
Oh, no, they argued. They challenged the game. The game had to be replayed, picked up from that point, a month later.
That's more sour grapes than
and
George Brett freaking. I mean, he's a
George
meathead,
Brett,
right?
George Brett was an a-hole that day. I mean, he was going to, You thought he was going to punch the umpire.
Yeah, the veins were popping out of his skull when
he was losing his mind.
out there.
And by the way, he was in complete violation.
Yeah. What else we got?
Terrible.
We also have someone saying Cutter Gauthier not wanting to play for the Flyers is a sour grapes.
It's very sour grapes, but man, do I wish that didn't happen.
Yeah, I wish it didn't happen.
You really wish it didn't happen.
Didn't happen, but
all right, Johnny, what is this breakdown?
In the NFL, now that's the great folks at The Athletic did the study. And they studied every single coaching hire in the NFL from the year 2000 to 2022. So just for your reference on this, it does not include the hiring of Andy Reid, who was hired in 1999. But it does include his hire by the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
So, but the Eagles not getting credit because I'm going to make this an Eagles story. It gets all 160 coaches that were hired in the 23 seasons. And it says in that season, what do you think the average coach over 160 hires? How long do you think they were on the job? It's actually
3 years.
Connor, that's what I guessed.
Yeah, I was somewhere 3 to 5.
How about 4.4? I was way off on that.
I would have guessed outliers there.
I would have guessed like 3.3, 3.4.
Well, yeah, you're going to get a lot of them that have, like Tomlin coached 16 years, so like that's going to raise the average. But there's also the understanding that a lot of rookie coach, rookie quarterback, they have like a shelf life together.
The average hire of the 160 coaches, 34.4 wins, 34.5 losses, and 0.2 ties. I mean, it's like the average.
500, yeah.
Playoff appearances, the average. 1.7 playoff appearances. Playoff wins, 1.6. Super Bowl appearances, 0.3.
And here we are talking about Nick Sirianni.
And Super Bowl appearances, 0.1. Now, here's the thing. How many of the 160 hires do you think exceeded the average in all 6 categories? Which means you had to be on the job. You have to be on the job 5 years. You have to have 35 regular season wins and a 500 record. You have to have 2 playoff appearances. You have to have 2 playoff wins.
And have gone to a Super Bowl.
1 Super Bowl win and 1 Super Bowl appearance and at least 1 Super Bowl win.
Oh, so you have to do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you have to have all of the appearances. How many of the 160 do you think?
We have dynasties. I don't know, like 3 or 4?
No, there's more than that. I'd say like 8.
13.
Really?
13 guys. 13 guys out of 160 lasted 5 years on the job, had 35 wins and above 500 record, 2 playoff appearances, 2 playoff wins minimum, 1 Super Bowl appearance, 1 Super Bowl win. 13 out of the 160. By the way.
Do you have the names?
It's in the Athletic piece. You'd have to go look at it because I was trying to make this more. But Andy Reid he counts for the Chiefs,
right?
But it still is an Eagles thing. But here's the thing is that, you're gonna have Nick Sirianni's gonna be in there.
Yeah, Nick's on there.
And
did Doug make 5 years?
He made 5 years.
Did he?
16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Yeah.
Okay. Made 5 years. Yeah. But here's the thing. If you just take this back 1 year.
McVay.
If you just take this back, McVay's in there. Kyle Shanahan and waxed eyebrows in Green Bay are only missing the Super Bowl appearance, the Super Bowl win for Shanahan and the Super Bowl appearance for Matt LaFleur. They already have those. They have all the other boxes checked. The only box that Shanahan hasn't checked is Super Bowl win. The only box that LaFleur hasn't checked is the appearance and the win. So it's like a really exclusive group. Jeffrey Lurie, in his tenure, has hired 3 guys who have done this. That's freaking amazing.
That is amazing.
His hiring practices, when you hear about it, Jeffrey Lurie is an amazing hirer, identifier of great coaches.
Yeah.
And it just shows you what the Eagles have done with these coaches is amazing. Or is it the organization? It's because
well, it's a
combination.
It's a collective.
It's a combination.
Term from
it's a collective. But does it not tell you that Jeffrey Lurie has built the gold standard?
Oh, he absolutely has. We have it great here. as much as we can complain and talk about trades and the evil media and all that
But
kind of stuff.
it's incredible.
We have it great here.
It is incredible what he has built.
We just talked about Rockies. Like imagine being a Rockies fan. That would suck. Imagine being a fan of the Cleveland Browns. Like, that would suck. That would really, really suck. All right, so I wrote down Andy, Doug, Nick, McVay, Belichick, because he was 2000, Harbaugh, Tomlin. So that's 7. You said there was 13?
There's 13 that have done it.
Tony Dungy in Indianapolis, probably.
Okay.
Tony Dungy in Indianapolis is definitely one. Would have been one. But there's 13.
Pete Carroll?
Pete Carroll
would have
been one.
there.
Yeah, he would have been one. But
that's 9.
That's incredible. It's still
Mike McCarthy, probably.
Mike McCarthy would have been one.
Yeah, because won
McCarthy
a
would
Super
have to
Bowl,
have been one.
Thanks to the Rodgers.
And you already said Tomlin, right?
I did say Tomlin, yeah.
Okay. He would have had to have been one. All we have to do is look at Super Bowl champs. All you have to do is look at the
Bruce
Super Bowl
Arians?
champs. Bruce Arians has to be one.
I don't think so.
Yes, he
Did
won
he
one.
do 10 years?
Yes,
He won one in Tampa. He wasn't there for that time.
No, but Super Bowl champs
He wasn't there long in Tampa. I think it has to be
Yeah,
in
he was
the
only
same spot.
3 years at Tampa. You're right.
No, but is he a coach for 5 years with the 500 record?
I
or not?
thought it was one club.
No, it doesn't have to be one club. It's 5 years as a coach with a 500 record or better.
Okay. Then,
As far as Super Bowl winners, he could be on the list.
Arizona to Tampa, he's an overall record of 80.
He could have that one.
Then Kubiak's got to be on there.
Kubiak is on the list, by the way. I did know that. He is on the list. Kubiak's on the list.
Interesting. But the Eagles are the gold standard.
The Eagles are the gold standard because if you just go back 1 year, the Eagles hired 3 guys.
Right, that's amazing.
Just took them 25 years to become the gold standard.
But it's incredible what they've done and what they've built.
Who's the Cardinals head coach when they won?
They didn't win.
They didn't win.
They've
They
never
lost to
won.
the
They
Steelers.
lost to the Steelers.
They lost to Steelers.
Antonio Holmes, bro.
Oh my gosh, what a great ending. What a great ending. That was incredible. It's crazy. It's crazy. You're going on all these names now. We're gonna
Dick Vermeil.
Oh, Sean Payton.
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton. All right.
Sean Payton's another
Dick
one.
Vermeil won. Greatest show on turf was post 2000, but I don't know when.
Yeah,
all
he
that
probably
was.
wouldn't carry over
Sean
to that.
Payton.
Right.
All right, so there's your 13. Look at that. We didn't need no article.
Great job.
We needed the parameters for sure.
Damn
Great
right
job.
we did. All right, coming up next. Hey, we talked a little Sixers earlier today. They resumed action with Joel Embiid. That's what I mean by resumed action. They played yesterday with the big man. They won. Flyers are back tonight. Talk about them. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The Olympics are over. Fanatic app.
It is 9:47 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Very random, and I apologize. But I wanted to talk to you guys about this because I forgot to bring this up 2 weeks ago. I was sick I missed some time. Do you guys know who Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is?
Of course I do.
Yeah. Very solid baseball player.
Yeah, he's a
solid baseball player. Played for the Yankees for some time. And
Twins legend.
Was on the
Twins legend.
And was on the Blue Jays last year.
Yes.
And if you guys remember,
could have won a World Series.
That incredible Game 7, there was the play at the plate in the 9th inning. And it was like, you needed a magnifying glass to be able to tell if he was safe or out. The call was out.
If he had just done the right thing, they would have won a World Series.
What do you mean if he did?
If he had been off of third base, right? If he had been off third base properly, had taken the proper lead, he would have been. Safe,
sure.
Right?
I mean,
he would have been safe.
It was a hell of a play.
But he would have been safe if he had taken the proper lead. The third base coach and him were asleep at the wheel. He wasn't taking the proper lead.
It was a forced play at the plate. He's out, and then eventually they go to extras, and the Dodgers win it. And so he is now with the Red Sox. So he's making the tour of the AL East.
Okay.
And his first time speaking in their spring training facility at JetBlue Park.
His bags were late.
He was upset that he was not interviewed right after the game.
What do you mean?
Here's the quote from 2 weeks ago, and the reason why today's Miguel Rojas' birthday, and he hit the home run, the go-ahead home run off of Jeff Hoffman. So that's why all of this is happening. The biggest regret is that there were no cameras in my face after the game. I think that was the toughest thing for me. If it was going to be such a big deal, it would have been nice to have the camera in my face and have a chance to speak. But it blew up without me getting a proper interview, so I thought that was unfair. Everybody was kind of just going off of it without me really being able to talk about the play, so that was tough.
Dude, you could have walked to any camera you wanted to.
Wait, the toughest thing for me was not the fact that you lost in Game 7 of the World Series. The toughest thing for you was that you didn't get interviewed.
You get talked about. He could have talked about it anytime he wanted. All you do is walk over to somebody that has a pad and paper or a camera and talk about it. What is he talking about? And more importantly, if he had gone back to Little League, go and watch the play.
I know.
He didn't take a proper lead off third base, and the third base coach didn't have him taking a proper lead. One more stride,
and he's in.
Yeah. I mean, dude, just take ownership of it. You blew it.
I was just like, how is that your answer? That's the toughest part about it.
That's a bit. Now, you see, here's what I'm saying to you is, I say this to you before, and having worked for sports teams, this is what the PR department, their job is, to have you prepared. And even his new team, you know what you're going to get asked. Coach you up for it.
Well, he didn't say at the end of the day.
No, he didn't, but that's a whole thing. They could coach them up on that too, but that's terrible. It's just like, here's what you're going to be ready for. Like when Kyle Schwarber didn't have an answer last week for the idea about Nick Castellanos. Your job is to coach them up.
Nick Castellanos.
Yes, you did. Have them prepared for what they're going to be asked. That's part of the job.
All right. Flyers back in action
tonight. Back-to-back nights.
Cup runs back on.
Listen to the game here on.
It better be quick
on 97.5 The Fanatic. Well, yeah, this was.
If they don't win tonight,
this was something else that we were going to get into yesterday, but the Howie and Nick stuff kind of took over.
It's got to start.
You believe the clock's ticking?
Yeah, the clock's got to be ticking. It's got to be tonight. Look, you have Washington and New York back-to-back. You have to get on a roll, and I'm talking like a out of the break, a 5 out of 6 roll. A 4 out of 6 roll that just starts to get something positive momentum going here, because you're going to have to tear it up in March. So if you don't get something started here, the hole's going to be too big. It's going to be buried. And then in the first 2 weeks of March, you're going to be playing to just stay alive.
According to what has to be a very accurate website, moneypuck.com.
Okay, I know Money Puck.
All right.
Okay.
Never heard in my life.
Yes.
They have the percentage chances of making the playoffs. What do you believe is the Flyers' percentage chance, according to their entire breakdown, schedule that they have remaining and what they've done so far?
16.1.
Connor?
37%.
11.1% to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think it's good. And but the thing is, if you're still at the point where there's enough games with statistical probability that if you go on a run this week, that could go to 20. I don't think it's ever going to go above 22, 25.
Their percentage
right
chance
now.
to land the number one overall pick is 2.6%.
Well, that could change. You could lose and lose. Look, got to get after it. Got to get after it. And got to get after it quick.
Yeah, it's a
Win
shame.
Win a few games.
There was so much buzz a
month ago till
ago.
Dan Vladar got hurt,
and then it fell apart. And then you go to the Olympics, and now it's like, all right, let's get back after it. You're right. They have to start. If we're talking playoffs, they have to do it tonight.
You got to get started. If they don't get off to a good start here, next 3-4 games, you go out and you lose 3 out of 4. March is going to be a trudge to the finish line.
Yeah. Well, maybe Sanheim's fired up. Maybe Tockett's fired up. Silver doesn't shine just as bright to them, and they're ready to rock.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe they go for
Hope Burke's
gold.
travel issues have gotten resolved and ready to go.
Look, Adam Schefter still can't get to Indy.
There you go. Out of Florida, I think it's been pretty good, though.
Okay.
They've been pretty nice and warm down there.
Speaking of Florida, we have the Phillies lineup for today's game.
Ooh, who's batting cleanup?
Phillies lineup.
Alec Bohm.
Oh,
Boom.
nice.
Who's batting leadoff?
Alec Bohm.
Justin Crawford.
Schwarbombs is batting leadoff today.
Here we go again.
Saucy.
Here
now,
we go
Turner's
again.
not playing today. Yeah. Just so people know. But we still don't know what the lineup's going to be. All we know is Topper said Turner, Schwarber, Harper.
In those three top of the
order. In the first inning. He did not say what order. I'm still guessing Turner is your leadoff hitter, especially coming off of his batting title campaign. And Kyle Schwarber, who did not bat leadoff for the majority of the season last year, had statistically his best season of his career. Why would we mess with that? But then again, there's people still writing about it.
Yeah, let's have Schwarber bat leadoff because my VORP says that the ATAR is, he should bat that.
What's an ATAR? Can you break that?
I don't know, whatever those
stats
stats are. Whatever Melvin Belvin says it is. Enough. Don't put Schwarber in the leadoff.
All I know is more RBIs is better than
his best year ever last year. Oh wow, get him out of leadoff. It really worked out nicely. Yeah, it was nice.
That may be one of the biggest cultish thing that there was.
Math.
Schwarber batting leadoff.
Yeah, math. People are anti-math. I don't know what it is. They're bad with the math.
Everybody have a great rest of your day. We got Middays with Marks come up next, but no Johnny Marks. Johnny Marks hanging out with Mickey and Minnie and Donald and Goofy.
He's exhausted.
I'm sure
and
he is.
And it's only Wednesday.
So we have Ray Dunn filling in for Johnny Marks. Amy Fadul will be in with Ray once again. And who's producing the show? Sean Rodman, right?
Yeah.
Rod Mania producing the show. Everybody have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow here on The Fanatic.
Now on 90.